The luxurious mansion was flooded with sunlight. A young girl's cheeks were flushed with a faint blush. As if summoning all her courage, she confessed her feelings. "Herwin, I like you. Please go out with me." However, Herwin coldly replied, "I refuse." The two were silent, with only the sound of a crow flying past. Herwin scratched his head with an innocent expression, while Lucia cried silently, "Lucia, if you are just doing this for fun, stop it. How many times have you confessed already?" Lucia turned her head and feigned a casual laugh, thinking to herself, "Can I even count them? The number of times I have confessed to him." Everyone knew that among the Empire's 4 great ducal families, the eldest son of the second son of the Northern Duke's family at the front lines, Herwin suddenly shone as a brilliant swordsman, already approaching the level of a swordmaster at a young age. And he was handsome enough to cause a stir in the academy when he attended. The female students in the academy at that time were all crazy about him, the one all women yearned for, who has been my best friend for 13 years. Herwin at this moment crossed his arms and looked at her. "I have known you since you were 8 years old. You are really persistent." He even pointed at her chubby cheeks teasingly. "The first time you confessed to me was when you were 8 years old, right? And also on my 16th birthday." Lucia, embarrassed, screamed, "Ah, do not bring that up." After calming down, Herwin seriously asked, "If you are so embarrassed, why do you keep confessing publicly?" She stammered, explaining, "I did not mean to that time." The situation just became really weird. The corner of Herwin's mouth suddenly curved into a smile. He gently looked at Lucia. "Thanks to you, it became an unforgettable birthday for me, even though I do not want to experience it again." Lucia blushed again. "I will never confess publicly for the rest of my life, ever." Lucia covered her flushed cheeks with her hands, while Herwin innocently watched her. Suddenly, he had something to say. "Anyway, since you confessed, I will give you an answer. My answer is the same as before." Herwin explained, very frankly, "I already like someone else, Lucia." Lucia's heart skipped a beat. "I know that you like Arista." Her hand slightly clenched over her left chest, even knowing that Herwin's heart is somewhere else. "I have been in unrequited love with him for a long time. For 13 years. The door was opened by Herwin, and someone greeted them. "Oh, Lucia and Herwin are here." Just as I thought, they came together. A young man with long hair teased, "You two are not really dating, are you?" Lucia quickly clarified, "Not at all." He did not let up and insisted, "Secretly dating for sure." "Didn't Lucia confess publicly when she was in the academy?" A young man with red hair chimed in. "I think so too." At this moment, Lucia laughed it off and waved her hand. "I told you, it is not like that. We just happened to meet on the way." "That is right," Herwin calmly repeated. "Lucia and I are just friends." He looked over with a slight tension. "So do not get the wrong idea, Arista." She tilted her head gently. If you say so, then I will believe it." Arista chatted with Herwin, by the way, about the debate competition. Lucia, like a small tail, kept looking at his back. The space around her seemed to fall silent. Lucia always reminded herself, "I have to smile, like nothing's wrong. Hopefully Herwin won't look at me." She burst into a bright laugh at her friend's joke. "I can't let anyone notice." The sky was tinged with the colors of dusk, and Lucia wearily exclaimed, "Maybe it is because it has been a long time since we have met, so it ended so late." She returned to the mansion, thinking to herself, "It was nice to see everyone again after so long." Just then, the butler came to announce, "Miss, you are back. The Earl would like to see you." Lucia was slightly surprised, "Father." Inside the room, Lucia's father was already seated. "Lucia, I have been waiting all day to talk to you about this." She obediently sat on the opposite chair. "What is it that has both mother and father here?" He was 3 parts worried and 7 parts uneasy. "You are 21 years old now, right? It is time for you to get married." Lucia's eyelids drooped slightly. Yes. In her heart, she always knew a principle. Nobles usually got engaged or married at the age of 19. Lucia's father gently cut to the chase. "I know you have feelings for Sir Peneus. That is why we have waited for you all this time. But now, we can't wait any longer. You have to go on blind dates, Lucia." Hearing this news, Lucia became agitated. "Blind dates?" So suddenly, he calmly held a file of papers in his hand. "It is not sudden. We have been thinking about this for years." I have chosen boys from good families for you. Go meet them. She lowered her head, her motions somber. But Lucia's mother gently touched her hand. We are not telling you to meet them tomorrow. We know you need time to sort out your feelings. After all, you have liked Sir Peneus for 13 years. But even after 13 years, Sir Peneus's heart still does not lean towards you, so we can't support you anymore. It is time for you to give up. Life is not always fortunate, but I, who was born as the only daughter in an earl family that has had only sons for many generations, am loved dearly by my parents. They have been waiting for my hopeless, unrequited love for 13 years. Lucia squeezed her mother's hand and reassured her. I understand how father and mother feel. But the next words made Lucia's father sigh in relief. I will fulfill my responsibilities as a member of the Agnes family. But please give me a little more time. His smile suddenly faded. How much more time do you need? Lucia's shoulders trembled with each sob. Really, just one last time. Please let me confess my feelings to Herwin. If by some miracle Herwin accepts me, can I get engaged to him? Her mother gently stroked her hair. As long as it is someone you love, we will be very happy. But if Sir Peneus rejects you again this time, you have to completely give up and meet other people, okay? Her words were the final concession. Lucia took a deep breath and affirmed firmly, Yes, I will. Returning to her room, she sighed and mocked herself. Engagement, huh? Lucia reached for a pendant in a wooden box. Inside, it was a lucky 4-leaf clover. Once again, Lucia's mood was dragged down. Herwin. Going back to the old days, in the year 726 of the imperial calendar, on the 28th of April, the moment I met Herwin for the first time, I thought, black hair and eyes that sparkled like precious jewels. A face that was so delicate and beautiful, I almost mistook him for a girl. Right from the first meeting, Lucia knew her heart had been stolen. She stared wide-eyed at Herwin, thinking to herself, like my parents said, is this what they mean by falling in love? Then Lucia's father and mother announced, the Peneus siblings will be staying with us for a while. Let us greet each other. Lucas, as the older brother, spoke first. Hello, I am Lucas Agnes. Lucia also lifted her skirt and introduced herself. I am Lucia. It is nice to meet you. Herwin, with his crimson pupils, replied, I am Herwin Peneus, and this is my younger brother, Henry. Nice to meet you. She then accidentally blurted out, a child as beautiful as an angel. Lucia's cheeks flushed slightly. At that time, whenever I thought of something, I would say it without thinking. 8-year-old Lucia naively praised, you are so beautiful, like an angel. But unknowingly, these words struck Herwin, me, an angel. The 8-year-old Herwin angrily yelled, are you mocking me, just because I look like a girl? At that age, we could not distinguish between kindness and hostility. Lucia instantly fell into despair. Does the angel hate me? Herwin did not hesitate to emphasize. I really hate being teased, so do not do it. Lucas saw this and hugged. Lucia, who are you to make my little sister cry? Herwin's mother ran out to comfort her. Lucia, are you crying? Is it because of our Herwin? Herwin took a step back at this sight. No, I did not mean to. He started it first. As soon as the words were out, Lucia cried even louder. Oh my God, this place is a sea of tears now. Unforgettable memory, this is how we first met. During a play session in the garden, Herwin was only focused on watching Henry. Lucia stealthily approached him. She grasped the hem of her skirt, hesitant to speak. Taking a deep breath, Lucia asked directly, are you angry at me? Herwin was slightly surprised. Huh? She lowered her face and explained in a small voice, I want to be your friend. Are you angry because I said you were beautiful? He immediately turned his face away, avoiding her gaze. Are you saying that to make fun of me? People who hate me always say I am beautiful whenever they see me. That is why I hate being called beautiful. Lucia's next words confused him, but I do not hate you. I like you. Herwin's pupils unconsciously contracted, speechless. Just then Lucas walked over. What is this? Do you two like each other now? Lucia and Herwin like each other, Henry cheerfully added. That is what they said. Herwin blushed and retorted, no way. No, I do not like him. How could I like him? Suddenly, Lucia's voice rang out from behind. You do not like me. Herwin blushed and stammered. I do not like you. She gripped her skirt tightly and stood up abruptly. Closing her eyes tightly, she shouted, "Then I do not like you either." Seeing her leave, Herwin chased after her, calling out, "Hey, where are you going?" Lucia ran straight into the forest. "Hey, they told us not to go into that part of the forest." She stubbornly did not turn back. "I like it that way, you idiot." Herwin stopped, worriedly looking at her, then turning to look at Henry and Lucas. He angrily sat down on the ground. HMPH, I do not know, weird kid. In his heart, discontent began to rise. If the monster wave had not broken out in the north, Father would not have had to send me to a place like this. I bet Father's out there, fighting monsters alone. In the deserted forest, Lucia shouted alone, "I hate Herwin too." She sulkily wiped the tears from her cheeks. "He is not even pretty." "I will never like him." Suddenly, Lucia realized something was coming. It was a black wolf hunting for prey. The wolf seemed very hungry. It looked at her as if it had struck gold and pounced. Lucia panicked and ran for her life. Suddenly, she bumped into Herwin. He was surprised to see her in a panic. "Lucia." "What is wrong?" Suddenly, she yelled. Lucia tried to shake Herwin. "Over there, behind us." In front of the two children was a crazed wolf. Lucia collapsed and could not stand up. Herwin pulled her hand hard. "Get up. We have to run," she stammered, explaining, "I can't get up." Out of options, he thought of another way. Suddenly, the taunts behind Herwin rushed back. "I even thought it was a girl because of that pretty face. I do not know if he can hold a sword later. Maybe he should wear a dress instead." Like a coward with a cute face, Duke Peneus is a sword genius with a brave personality since he was young, but his son is timid. Maybe that is why the Duke sent the young master to the Agnes family. The Duke had aura in his teens, but Herwin does not seem to have a talent for swordsmanship. The more Herwin thought about it, the more he gasped, "I am so scared." He gripped the wooden sword tightly and told himself, "I want to run away, but if I run alone, she will..." Thinking of that, Herwin decided to face it. He took a step forward to challenge the animal in front of him. "Don't come any closer." He and it charged at each other. The wolf bit into the wooden sword to tear it away. Herwin struggled intensely. Lucia behind him struggled to get up. She picked up a stone on the road, raising it high to warn, "Don't hurt Herwin." The stone hit the wolf's head, causing it to pause. Accidentally also did not bite the wooden sword. Herwin took advantage of the opportunity to slash down. The wolf received a direct hit from him. The wolf's body trembled in waves, drool dripping. It curled its tail and ran straight into the forest. Lucia breathed heavily. "It is gone." Herwin knelt down in front of her and asked, "Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere?" Lucia collapsed like a deflated tire. "I thought I was going to die." He sternly questioned, "Why did you go into the forest alone?" "I told you not to go in," she sobbed and asked back. "Then why did you follow me?" Herwin was embarrassed. "I was not following you, but here you were looking for this, right?" "4-leaf clover." Her eyes were filled with tears. "You followed me just to give me this." Herwin blushed and turned his face away to avoid her gaze. He expressed his feelings in a small voice. "I do not like being called beautiful, and I do not like angels either. Because I am going to become a cool and strong sword genius, like my father. But that does not mean I hate you. Take it." Saying that, Herwin reached out to support Lucia. "You can stand, right?" She nodded shyly. "Yeah." He took her hand and walked forward. "Let us go. Everyone must be looking for us." At that moment, the feelings became clearer. My heart was beating too fast, and that was the beginning of my first love. As soon as they returned, the adults were very worried. "Oh my God, Herwin, what happened?" The other person immediately asked, "Why are your clothes like this?" Herwin, happily still holding Lucia's hand. There was a wild dog threatening Lucia, so I defeated it. I fought bravely, like father. The adults said loudly in surprise, "What, are you hurt anywhere? Oh my God, did you go into the forest? We should call a doctor, just in case you were injured." At this time, Lucia gently shook his hand. "Herwin, I really, really like you. I will marry you." These words reached the ears of the two women. "Marry." Herwin was covered in a cold sweat and glanced back. From which side did Henry's voice come? "What? Brother, have you lost your mind?" Lucas angrily pointed at the two children. "Lucia, you, and Herwin." An invisible pressure pressed on Herwin. The mental obsessions echoed in his head again. Herwin. Only little girls like him because he has a pretty face. Isn't he a young lady? Is not he a young lady? Let him wear a dress. Hey, he is crying. Gradually, Herwin's state became chaotic. In an accident, he overheard something. It seems that because Duke Peneus is quite quiet and gentle, he is looked down upon by the children of the servants. Due to being bullied constantly, the boy has suffered psychological trauma. Pain with panic when attention focused on him. How can the heir to the kingdom have such a weak will? I wonder if he can lead a monster extermination, like the Duke. Is he really the son of Duke Peneus? Herwin's staggering steps along with a soft cry. Don't look at me, do not look at me, do not look at me. Lucia looked at him worriedly. Herwin. Suddenly, Herwin erected a defensive line. Don't look, I really hate you. As soon as the words were out, he realized what he had just done. Lucia unconsciously took a step back. Herwin paused, trying to explain, no, But the only response was Lucia's silence. She blushed and gently asked him, you do not even want to be friends? Herwin was stunned by this stubbornness. She repeated seriously again. I am asking, do you hate me so much that you do not want to be friends with me? His cheeks flushed pink. No, that is not it. Hearing this answer, she was very happy. Really then, let us be friends. But I will still like you a lot, and I will still keep telling you that I like you. Herwin was slightly startled. What? Lucia asked innocently with wide eyes. Can I say it? He intended to prevent. Don't. But then saw Lucia looking like a sulky puppy with drooping ears. Therefore he grabbed her hand. The words of refusal from before had changed. All right, do whatever you want. However, Herwin whispered in Lucia's ear, just do not do it in front of other people, ever. Her mood blossomed like a flower. Okay, I understand. And that was Herwin's answer to my first confession. From that day on, I confessed my feelings to him every day. In the year we were both 8, Lucia confessed to Herwin, Herwin, I like you. At 12 years old, she followed Herwin like a little tail. Herwin, let us go out? He annoyed, eyes narrowed. How many times have I heard this? Or whenever he was free, Lucia would always ask him, Herwin, marry me. Because he was so used to it, Herwin carelessly replied, don't you ever get tired of this? At 18 years old, Lucia still held the same feelings. Herwin, I like you, he lazily replied casually. Yeah, I know. He hugged her neck and sighed. Are you crazy? Really this time, as long as it is not a public confession, anything goes. Lucia lay sprawled on her bed, muttering to herself, the number of times I have confessed to Herwin, and he has rejected me, has now reached 96, 97, and if I count yesterday, I have confessed and been rejected 98 times. Is this real? I am really persistent. Even so, she thought more lightly, I understand why Herwin does not take my confessions seriously. To be honest, I was just messing around a lot when I was little. And when I was 18, I did something that Herwin really despised. If that thing had never happened, Herwin would never have liked Arista. Burying her face in the pillow, a frantic voice came from outside. Miss Lucia. Lucia jumped up and asked, Seline, what is wrong? Why are you rushing in like that? Seline, panting, announced, Duke Herwin has come to visit. I thought you would want to prepare before meeting him, so I asked him to wait a moment. She was slightly surprised Herwin. She flusteredly rubbed her face. Oh no! I drank and cried last night. My face, seeing, understanding. Offered a suggestion. I will bring a mask to reduce the swelling. And we can add a little color with makeup. Moments later, Seline and the other servants worked hard to groom Lucia. In another room, the haughty Herwin took a sip of tea. The door opened and he gently called, Lucia. She, in a pink dress, smiled and looked at Lucia. Sorry, did I take too long? He quickly waved his hand to reassure her. Not at all. It is my fault for coming unannounced. Lucia walked to the chair opposite Herwin and sat down, wondering. But what brought you here? We met yesterday. It has not even been a day since we parted. He readily explained. I received a message from my estate last night. I came here because I felt I should tell you before telling the others. She was slightly curious. What is it? Herwin seriously stated the matter. I think I will be going north in a month. Lucia received one surprise after another. A whole month. Herwin, face confidence, tightly grabbed his hands. Yes, I have decided to participate in the monster subjugation to help my father. Now that I am about to become a swordmaster, I can't be left out. Father also wants to hand over the title of family head to me soon. I want to show him that I am a son he can be proud of on this occasion. At this time, she mentioned something. Have you told Arista yet? Herwin hesitated for a moment, then replied, I am on my way back after telling her. I will tell the others by letter. But I wanted to tell you directly, as a final farewell, I am always cheering for you. Because of these words, it was difficult for Lucia to speak. She had to ask about something else. Has the departure date been set? Herwin replied with a refreshed face. In a week. Lucia's whole body received a strong shock. She lowered her head and her whole body trembled slightly. A week. Memories of the promise with her parents was remembered by Lucia. Really, just one last time. I will confess my feelings to Herwin, and if by some miracle Herwin accepts me, can I get engaged to him? She stroked her head and offered, however, if you are rejected this time, you will give up easily and try to meet other people. In a daze, Herwin came to Lucia's side. Don't worry too much. He hugged her, reassuring her. I will come back safely. Because there was no time left, Lucia had to take a risk. Herwin, before you go, can you give me a day? Just one day. He asked curiously. A day? You mean a whole day? She replied firmly. Yes. Lucia took Herwin's hand, her voice firm. There is something I absolutely have to tell you. He asked back. What is so important? However, she kept it a secret to the end. I will tell you when we meet. This is very important. Herwin turned into a puppy, wagging his tail, and agreed. All right. When do you want to meet? Any time is good for me. Lucia pondered for a moment, then said, Since today is Sunday, how about next Friday? He also happily nodded. Sounds good. Then let us meet. It has been a long time since it was just the two of us. What do you want to do? Looking at the smile on the other person's lips, Lucia thought, does Herwin know that this will be my 99th confession and my last? And no matter what his answer is, the days we face each other as friends will end today. That night, the moonlight shone brightly. Lucia, in the room embroidering a handkerchief, said to herself, Since this is the last confession, I want to give something meaningful. She considered that a handkerchief is a compact size and useful even on the battlefield, so it is very practical. While making a final gift for Herwin, she was slightly sad. Usually, it is a gift for a lover or fiancé, but sometimes it is also given to a close friend, so Herwin won't feel awkward. After finishing, Lucia raised it up and observed, Not bad for a rush job. If it is Herwin, he probably won't notice, even if I embroider my initials here. He seems meticulous, but he is also quite clueless in some things. But if Herwin does not accept my feelings, then it is all meaningless. Seline on one side asked, Miss, you have a date with Prince Peneus tomorrow, right? The hand holding her sewing needle suddenly trembled. She frowned, feeling sorry for Lucia. The lovely miss even embroiders a handkerchief herself. When will Prince Peneus realize your feelings? She gave a forced smile, as if questioning herself. That is right. When will he realize? Seeing her master a little depressed, Seline ran to encourage her. Even if Prince Peneus says he can't accept, please do not be too discouraged. You are more lovely than anyone else, miss. Lucia laughed out loud. Are you comforting me? I have not even been rejected yet. She confusedly bowed her body. I apologize if I have overstepped my bounds. You seem sad lately. However, the only response was Lucia's reassurance. You have been worried, Seline. Sorry. I must have a lot on my mind lately. Seline took her hand and encouraged her. Miss, please do not try to carry everything alone. Sometimes sharing the burden with others can make you stronger. You know I am always by your side, right? Lucia laughed it off and asked again. You think I will be rejected again this time? Seline hastily brushed it off. I am just saying, do not mind too much. Not wanting her mood to be heavy, Seline immediately changed the subject. Have you finished embroidering? If you have any difficulty with any part, I can help you. She showed off the handkerchief she had just embroidered. Almost done. Look, it is quite pretty, right, Seline? Like a fan meeting an idol? Oh my god, when did you complete all these things? You have not had much time lately. Our miss can really do everything. Seeing her happy, Lucia wondered, if even Seline praised it, then I must have done a good job, right? To this extent, Herwin would also like it, right? Please, let my feelings reach him. Finally, the Friday appointment arrived. Lucia had prepared everything, but her heart was beating a little fast. For some reason, I feel a little nervous. A light flashed in the depths of her eyes when she saw the person in front of her, Herwin. Herwin was wearing casual clothes today. Good morning, Lucia. Lucia covered her mouth and wondered, why are not you wearing your uniform? He did not look at her but replied, just wanted to. Lucia and he went to the carriage. I think this outfit suits you too, Herwin laughed. Really? So what do you want to do today? Lucia put her hands on her hips and declared, You won't mind being dragged around all day by me, will you? Herwin scratched his head and wondered, what are you planning to do? She looked at him pouting. Anyone who sees us will think I am bullying you, just because you are leaving soon. I want to spend time playing together before it is too late. Suddenly, Herwin remembered something. That is right. It has been a long time since it was just the two of us. We have always been with other people. He lifted his hand to help Lucia into the car. When the two were seated, she began the appointment. First, we will go to the city center and then to the restaurant I have booked. He happily nodded. Okay. The restaurant was full of nobles and upper-class people. The food was elegantly decorated along with red wine glasses. Herwin looked around once and then evaluated. The atmosphere here is great and the food is delicious too. I will definitely come back next time. Lucia revealed a secret to him. Actually, this is my first time here too. It has been popular lately, so I heard it will be hard to book a table later. He stared at her. Dumbfounded, really? Then I am even more looking forward to the main course. Just then the waiter came out. Here's your main course. Steak with special wine sauce, and steak with fresh mushrooms. If you need anything else, please call me. Lucia's face turned pale, her hands stiffened. I was too excited to come to a famous restaurant with Herwin, so I ended up ordering a dish with mushrooms. Should I avoid the mushrooms and just eat a bite? Then forced a smile and praised, looks delicious. Unexpectedly, Herwin grabbed the fork in her hand. Let us switch dishes. She frowned in confusion. Why? He took the plate of food casually and said, You are asking why you can't eat mushrooms. Lucia blushed and waved her hand. No, that would be rude. However, Herwin still did as he wanted. It is okay. Just sit still. Moments later, the plate of food was replaced. She blushed and whispered, It is okay to eat it. I am not allergic. Herwin skillfully cut the steak in front of her. It is not just being picky. You said mushrooms make you nauseous. There was one time you ate them without knowing and were miserable all day. You should have checked the menu before booking, right? Lucia was reminded again and pouted, defending, I think I was too excited because it was so hard to book a table. When eating the first bite, Herwin said, It is delicious. What are you doing? Why are not you eating? Because she was always watching him, she played clumsy. I am getting ready to eat. In her heart increased love. He remembers that I can't eat mushrooms. But I did not expect him to switch plates without hesitation. That was an act that broke the rules. Maybe Herwin did that because of the concern of a childhood friend. But even such small gestures make my heart flutter. After the meal, the two took a walk and came across a jewelry store. Lucia pressed herself against the glass door. Herwin, let us go in here. He did not refuse at all, replying, Okay. Inside everything was luxurious. The server spoke, Welcome. Lucia looked around as if looking for something. Then she pointed to a bow tie in front of her. This suits you. I will buy one. Herwin holding two bags in hand and confused. Why do I feel like we are only buying things for me? You already bought me a fountain pen and a tie. Immediately after, Lucia blocked him. No, today you promised to spend the whole day for me. Did not you agree to anything I do? I was also planning to buy you a brooch like this. Just take it. The waiter nearby enthusiastically advised, Please feel free to look around while we wrap the items. We have many new items today. Lucia felt a little interested, really. Herwin followed her every move without even buying for yourself. So what is so interesting about buying things for others? While she was still talking excitedly, this one looks pretty too. At this time, Herwin also started looking around. He noticed a pair of delicate earrings. The server immediately came over. Is there something you are looking for? Herwin asked him. Can I take a closer look at this? The earrings glittered under the light. Herwin picked one up to examine. He put it in front of Lucia to try on, then unconsciously smiled. A moment later, only heard Lucia's voice. Today I will only buy the brooch. The other items do not match the style of the person I am giving them to. The server respectfully bowed. Yes, please come back next time. Going outside, Lucia asked him, Herwin, did you look around a bit? He looked at her gently, replying, let us go. The carriage was dyed gold by the sunset. Inside the cinema, Herwin seriously watched the play, while Lucia seriously looked at him. Everyone's been talking about this play lately. I wonder if Herwin likes it. The stage lights shone down on the main character. The male and female couple hugged each other affectionately. Miss, I have missed you so much, the girl also replied. I have been thinking about you all week before that, Earl. From the back appeared the guy kneeling on the ground. God, why do you make me endure such cruel trials? The next words made Lucia jump. I am in love with my friend again. Why is it him, not me? I have been with you longer. But that lady refused. I am sorry, Syrian, but I have never thought of you like that. Finally, the Earl took her hand. I will only love you for the rest of my life. The lady replied shyly, Matthias. Below the stage, Lucia watched the back of the supporting male character. Her lips pressed tightly together. In the depths of her eyes was a faint sadness. We love in the same way, so why did our story end so differently? She was also like the supporting male character, watching Herwin happy with Arista. The two of them talked to each other. Arista, do you want to practice swords with me today? She always replied. Okay, just Lucia alone is like an extra. Herwin. Thinking of this, tears fell slightly. The play ended happily, so why am I crying? The actors above held hands and bowed. Herwin clapped without noticing that Lucia was wiping the corners of her eyes. Seconds later, she had returned to her radiant look. The play was more fun than expected, right? He tilted his head and looked at her. That is right. Lucia suggested. Let us get up. Herwin quickly nodded and stood up. Okay. Coming outside, he still praised. After watching it, I understood why it was so popular, thanks to you. I got to see something very good. Lucia was a little surprised. I did not think you would like that genre of play. I mean, it is just a typical love story. Herwin said very enthusiastically. It is not boring at all. There are a lot of funny parts too. Suddenly her eyes sadly avoided. I see, that is good then. It was late at night. The full moon hung on the roof. Herwin looked at her and smiled. It is late. Let us go have dinner. Suddenly Lucia stopped and gently called, Herwin. The wind carried cherry blossoms. He turned around. Why are you standing still, Lucia? Lucia did not rush to answer, just took the prepared gift from her bag. She put it in front of him and said, I think it is time to give you this. Herwin raised his hand to take it. What is it? Once again, Lucia expressed her feelings. I like you, Herwin. Can you go out with me? His hand froze in mid-air, then quickly retracted it. What is this about? It has only been a week since your last confession. I did not think you would ever be this determined before. Different from the previous times, Lucia was very determined. Answer me, Herwin. He confusedly turned his head in one direction. I am sorry, like I said last time, Before he could finish his words, Lucia interrupted. It is okay. I already know the reason, so I do not need to hear it again. Suddenly a memory from when I was in the academy rushed back. That day, the most important practical exam of the swordsmanship class took place. A heavy rain started out of nowhere, but fortunately no one was seriously injured during the evaluation. But then, someone rushed into the tent in the middle of the rainy night. The person's voice was full of panic. Professor, I swear I saw a demon. We have to go save Herwin and Arista. All of this was heard by Lucia, a demon. The person called the professor considered, the rain is too heavy. If we go now, we might not even find them. Let us wait a bit for the rain to stop. However, the students there kept urging. Herwin and Arista are almost sword masters already. If they have not come back, what does that mean? We saw the demon with our own eyes. The umbrella in Lucia's hand fell to the ground when she heard, if they run into it, they will be in great danger. Her face turned pale and she stepped inside. They have not come back yet, her friend stammered. That is. Herwin and Arista were the only ones still missing. Suddenly, someone threw the tent and ran in. Someone is coming here. All of them ran out to investigate. In front of them, two familiar figures appeared. Lucia immediately ran to call out loudly, Herwin. At this time, Arista was supporting him. Moments later, they were taken to be treated in the tent. Arista was asked by the professor. Herwin was the first to discover the demon and protect me. In the meantime, he was seriously injured. The professor decided, we need to inform the knights. This is the first time a demon has appeared nearby like this. Before the professor could leave, Arista smiled. I defeated the demon. These words shocked them. You defeated a demon, so you have reached the level of a sword master. She mastered aura even before Prince Peneus. I heard that Miss Arista and Prince Peneus have incredible skills, but only the two of them faced a demon. The professor put his hand on her shoulder full of trust. You two fought directly with a demon. You must still be exhausted. Go inside and rest. Just as Arista was about to leave, Lucia called out. Arista! Thank you for saving Herwin, she waved her hand, explaining, no, if it was not for Herwin, I might not be here. However, Lucia was still very grateful. I will never forget what you did for him. Suddenly, Arista said softly, Lucia, if you are really grateful, can you grant me a favor in the future? Not now, just sometime in the future. The next morning, the sun was dazzling. I intended to scold Herwin when he woke up. I wanted to ask why he came back so late after saying he would go down first. Why was he so reckless? But when Herwin opened his eyes, I forgot everything I had intended to say, Lucia agitatedly shouted. Herwin, you are awake! Herwin asked her with difficulty sitting up. Lucia, where am I? Lucia quickly replied. The medical room. Do not try to get up. You are bruised all over. He smiled softly, realizing, ah, so that is why I am in constant pain. Lucia worriedly asked Herwin, are you hungry? Does anything hurt more? He did not answer, just rushed to get out of bed. I need to go see Arista. Can you help me get there? Please, Lucia. At this time, Lucia felt that something was wrong, okay? From that day on, Herwin and Arista became even closer, and a few days later, I asked Herwin a question. Until one day she blurted out, do you like Arista? Herwin's face contorted. Me like Arista. I think I do. The wandering thoughts were pulled back by Herwin's call, Lucia. She gave him the gift and said, I do not think I can stay for dinner. I am going ahead. Herwin immediately followed after her. It is dark. I will take you home. It is too dark. It is not safe for you to go alone. Lucia stammered, refusing, no, it is okay. He asked worriedly, what if something happens to you? Suddenly she turned around, teary-eyed. Herwin, don't make me feel so pathetic. These words made Herwin's pupils constrict in surprise. Lucia lowered her head, her eyes filled with sadness. I am sorry for causing all of this right before I came to the north. Let us greet each other with a smile next time. Lucia Agnes opened the door and walked in. I am back. Both of them were very worried. Lucia, your face, what happened? She only blurted out one sentence. It is over now. Her parents still did not understand her words. Lucia, what do you mean? Lucia Agnes said painfully, Herwin rejected me. So everything is over now. Her mother pitied her daughter, Lucia. She accepted the truth. I will go to the blind dates, just as you and father wished. Lucia Agnes slowly walked past them. The mother spoke with a worried voice. Honey, are you really okay with this? When she entered the room, she gently called, Seline. Seline peeked over, listening. Yes, miss? Lucia Agnes hugged her face and cried. Is love always this painful? All I wanted was Herwin's love. Maybe that is too much to hope for. Seline gently hugged her and comforted her. Consider it a growing pain, miss. Seline advised in a small voice. If it hurts this much, maybe it is better not to feel it anymore. The reason it hurts this much is because you really care about Sir Peneus. She tried to guess Lucia Agnes's feelings, but you do not regret loving him all this time, right? But she denied number. Seline smiled at her. Then that is enough. And continued to brush Lucia Agnes's hair. Please rest for a few days. She smiled, regaining her spirits. I will, Seline. Time passed very quickly. 3 days later, she tossed and turned in the warm blanket. Lucia curled up in the blanket. I have been crying for 3 days straight, and now I can barely see anything. She felt that her mood had improved. Seline was right. After resting for a few days, I feel a little better. Lucia Agnes slowly got out of bed. She went to the table where there were a few books on it. She casually picked up the pink book, as if she was opening a secret box. Each line appeared. Today, Herwin. Lucia Agnes hugged the book to her chest. Whenever I see anything related to Herwin, I know I will just keep thinking about him. She gently grasped the door handle of the closet and put the book in the closet. Lucia Agnes wanted to hide it forever. I have finally done it. She told herself, I will overcome this growing pain. Downstairs, her parents were having breakfast. She went downstairs and respectfully asked, Did you sleep well, father and mother? The gentle mother called her over. Lucia, come here. You must be very hungry. Lucia Agnes sat down and gently asked, Can I have breakfast with you? The father then spoke, Are you really okay now? The mother really did not want to force her. You can let us know after you finish eating, or whenever you are ready, Lucia. Lucia Agnes waved her hand, expressing, I am okay now. Sorry for making you worry, mother. They did not make it difficult for her. Well, if you say you are okay, then we will believe you. Lucia Agnes hesitated and changed the subject. When should we arrange my first blind date? She had carefully considered this. I think we can start arranging a blind date from tomorrow, father. But she thought it was quite rushed. Lucia, is not that a bit too hasty? The father clasped his hands together, indulging Lucia Agnes. We will do as you wish. Just do not push yourself too much. The mother still wanted her in the most stable state. You do not have to rush, Lucia. Go at your own pace. Lucia Agnes tried to reply, Yes. The two of them always cheered for her. We will always be here for you. Very quickly time passed again. The next day, she gently stepped out of the carriage. I ended up arriving too early. Lucia Agnes sighed in frustration. I boasted to my parents that from today I would be ready for the blind dates, but in reality I have no interest in it at all. Then she immediately reassured herself, Who knows? Maybe I will fall in love at first sight. Do not think so negatively beforehand. Lucia Agnes slowly stepped inside. She saw a back view from behind and guessed, Is that him? So she shyly asked in a small voice, Are you Master Simon Dehard? He turned around and blurted out, Yes, that is me. Lucia Agnes then introduced herself. Nice to meet you. I am Lucia Agnes. He scratched his head awkwardly. You arrived too early, even though there is still time before the appointment. Simon Dehard said honestly, I am preparing to inherit my family's trading company. Perhaps that is why I value punctuality so much. I find Miss Agnes very likable because of that. She replied indifferently. Oh yes. Then thought to herself, He is about 5 years older than me, but he seems calmer than most people. He immediately went straight to the point. To be honest, I was quite surprised that the Agnes family proposed this marriage. First, I have heard that Miss Agnes has long harbored feelings for someone. Else, she did not deny it at all. That is not wrong. Simon Dehard immediately revealed his face. Because of the age difference, I do not know the details very well, but actually that also puts my mind at ease. Now I have nothing to hesitate about anymore. That made her startled and ask, Hesitate about what? Simon Dehard smiled and replied, I also have someone I love. Unfortunately, she is a commoner, so I can't marry her. Naturally, Lucia Agnes did not accept that answer. I think I need a clearer explanation. He revealed a devious face. Because there is no love between us, I think we can let each other live freely. You and Sir Paneas also have a similar relationship, right? After hearing that, Lucia Agnes stood up abruptly. Where are you going? She frankly stated her point of view. I want a sincere husband who values the family, not someone who lives for enjoyment like you, making Simon Hardy stunned. What? What did you say? She squinted her eyes and evaluated. What kind of person is he? So my first blind date has failed, and the next day... The next person was a gentle guy. He directly confessed. I like Miss Agnes. She is very kind and looks like an angel. Lucia knew that, I understand. But he weakly pleaded, Actually, my mother has been struggling with dementia recently. If Miss Agnes marries me, I believe that she will take good care of my mother. Hearing this, Lucia Agnes had had enough. Sorry, she did not like that at all. The second man was not as rude as Simon Dehard, but he suddenly asked me to take care of his mother. To the fourth man, the thinking was even more flaky. How many children do you want? I think at least 3 is ideal. Let us skip the wedding and go on the honeymoon right away. Lucia Agnes sighed after hearing that. What kind of person talks about having children before even holding hands? She spoke politely. Sorry, he confidently claimed. But if you reject me, you will regret it, you know. He amplified himself. It won't be easy to find someone as good as me. Even someone who does not care about the upper class will hear the rumors about you. The words hurt so much that they cut into her heart. A woman who has loved another man for over 10 years, What man would accept that? Lucia Agnes subtly reminded him. That has nothing to do with you, sir. He still shamelessly spoke. Well, anyway, think about it again. It finally came, and today... Lucia Agnes sipped her tea. I do not know how things will go today. I wonder if the person who comes to see me today is strange. He has not even arrived on time. Obviously something's wrong. She also thought about the negative. Or maybe he heard the rumors and decided to reject me first. So Lucia Agnes stood up to prepare to leave. I should not waste any more time. I should go. Just then, someone called back, wait a minute. The guy seemed to have just run over, panting in front of her. Bern Casper gently wiped the sweat off his cheeks. Are you Miss Lucia Agnes? She nodded and introduced. I am Lucia Agnes, he gently said. Thank you for waiting. He even politely apologized. Please forgive me for this late introduction. My name is Bern Casper. The two of them sat down together. Lucia Agnes spoke honestly. Because you did not come for a long time, I was planning to leave. Bern Casper also would not mind that. I would not blame you, actually, because there was an accident on the way here. I arrived a little late. Lucia Agnes was startled when she heard an accident. He bowed and expressed his regret. Yes, there was a collision between carriages causing the horse to be injured. I am really sorry. At the same time expressing gratitude. Thank you. A series of her thoughts were revolving in her head. I thought badly of him for arriving late, but he is more polite than I thought. No, wait. She re-examined once. The person who was matched with me first also left a pretty good impression. Lucia Agnes clenched her hands. I can't let my guard down just because he is behaving politely. Bern Casper spoke affirmatively. I will never let you wait again, miss. She intended to say something more. If there is a next time. He looked out at the sky and sighed. The weather is comfortable these days. The sky is really clear. Bern Casper really sincerely told her. In the novel I like, there is a city named Atlanta. It is similar to the weather here. Lucia Agnes was excited when she mentioned it. Are you talking about The Souls of Atlanta? Bern confirmed. That is right. It is not a popular work. But you know that book? She explained why she knew it. The professor I admire most at the academy recommended it to me. He realized the two had something in common. A history professor? I also like to read some books that he recommended. What a coincidence. Lucia then shyly nodded. Ah, yes, that is right. Maybe I should not have mentioned the academy. However, she was still a little worried. What if he asks about those rumors of mine? He also expressed his regret. It is a pity. If I were 1 year younger, then we would have been book-reading friends at the academy. Lucia smiled and replied, I think so too. Suddenly his voice lowered. Miss, you know what, right? Lucia started to feel off, know what? It turned out that what Bern said was not what she imagined. Actually, in the second library of the academy, there is a hidden room, making her relieved. No, I just found out. The two of them chatted lively from one thing to another, until the sunset gradually fell. She looked up and told Bern, It is so late, and he himself did not realize it. I was so busy talking that I forgot about the time. She smiled happily. It has been a long time since I have had such a comfortable conversation. Bern also felt that way. Me too, Lucia asked softly. So it is not just me who thinks so, right? In today's matter, he still felt guilty. Actually, I thought maybe you had already left before I could even arrive. Lucia's voice was a little panicked. So you ran here and thought I had already left. Bern's face lowered a little, not daring to look directly. Yes, just in case you were still here. He felt that this thing he did was extremely wrong. If you were still waiting, I thought I must come and apologize properly. She gently laughed charmingly and said, Luckily I still waited. If I had left a few minutes earlier, then I would have missed the appointment with a very wonderful person. He immediately blushed and waved his hand. Wonderful. You do not need to speak well of me. At this time, Lucia's mood was much better. At times like this, it is really hard to find someone as honest as you, Marquis. He blushed a little at receiving the compliment. Thank you, Miss Estes. She prepared to get on the carriage, saying goodbye. I have to go now. But Bern still called her back. Miss Lucia turned back and asked, Yes. Bern gently and politely said, If you are willing, can we meet again next time? Lucia was very honored by that. Yes, I will go. Bern blushed and waved goodbye. Thank you. I will send a letter to your mansion later. Lucia stepped into the car, sending a wish for safety. Drive carefully, Marquis. The carriage rolled away further and further. Seline was curious about today's meeting. Miss Yanralal, was today successful? Is that gentleman a good person? While she did not know where to start, well then. Lucia happily replied. Luckily, he did not mention anything about Herwin, and the conversation went very smoothly. She set up a hypothetical situation. If we were in the same academy, the two of us would be good friends, right? Hearing this, Seline's face was very excited. Oh my, just that is enough to meet the standards. Lucia did not expect her feelings. Why do you seem to like him more than me? She blushed and continued to ask. So, Miss does not like him. The two of you won't meet again. Lucia scratched her mouth and guessed. I think we will meet again soon. Time passed. 3 weeks later. Byrne slightly bowed and asked for her opinion. I was really looking forward to this play, and it exceeded my expectations. What about you, miss? What did you think? She did not know what to say. Me. Lucia remembered the content of that play. She pretended to find it interesting. Although I have watched the play as many as 2 times, I also like it very much. Byrne expressed the part of the play that he found most interesting. I think I was quite touched by that dialogue. The part of the supporting male character, the one who was not chosen by the female lead. That story seemed to predict his future later, like how happy the main couple is, the more painful and lonely the remaining person is. That is really heartbreaking, right? Making Byrne blurt out, oh, is it too sad? No, you are not. She revealed empathy. I like to hear your thoughts, Marquis. Byrne was a little delighted. Really? She replied. Actually, I feel that way too. Suddenly, Byrne remembered something. Ah, did you receive this? The invitation to the princess's engagement party. Lucia was also invited to that party. Yes, I received it a few days ago. I heard they want to keep it simple and just hold an engagement party. Byrne politely offered. If you do not mind, then would you be able to come with me? This made Lucia a little hesitant. It is known that Prince Lydia, Arista's older brother, and the princess's engagement party is a royal party, accompanying someone at a party where most of the nobility will gather. And what she hesitated about was, it would be no different from declaring the intention to get engaged. Lucia was afraid that the Marquis and herself. Immediately she reassured herself. No, do not think about Herwin anymore. I have met the Marquis for 3 weeks now. Lucia regained her spirits. It is okay to go together. Oh, Byrne also did not force it. If you feel uncomfortable, then I can go alone. Lucia took his hand and said, agree. No, let us go together, Marquis. To make the distance between the two closer, Byrne gently suggested, instead of always calling me Marquis, from now on please call me Byrne. She also wanted him to call her name. Then please call me Lucia, instead of Miss Byrne. The sky has turned to a magical night scene. Walking into the room, Lucia saw a letter. She slowly picked it up. A letter. A letter from the person Lucia liked. A letter from Herwin. She fell into hesitation. Instead of thinking a lot, I should just read it now, right? Each line in the letter was revealed. I have finished my work, so I will be returning to the capital today. I heard that the princess will hold an engagement ceremony in a few days. I plan to attend. What about you? I hope that when we meet at this party we can smile and greet each other. Naturally, Lucia unconsciously smiled. It has been a long time since Herwin first sent me a letter. Maybe he is still wondering about how the two of us broke up before I returned to the north. However, there has been a change, but this time I will go with Byrne as a companion. She sadly put the letter away. That means everyone will know about our relationship. The two people are now just old-school friends. There is nothing awkward between the two. Lucia agreed with one thing in the letter. Herwin is right. Let us smile when we meet. Time flew by. A few days later, Lucia stepped out wearing luxurious high heels. Herwin is right. Let us smile when we meet. When seeing her outfit today, her parents all had to sigh. Lucia, if you said you were getting married tomorrow, then mother would believe it. You look so grown up and beautiful. Lucia was like a newly made doll. Really. They also noticed another difference. It is the first time I have seen those earrings, the sparkling earrings. Byrne gave them to you a few days ago. The two of them secretly rejoiced and told each other, oh my, of course, that kid seems to like Lucia. She friendly expressed to them, I think he likes me. I also think that way about Byrne. She also revealed more. Lucas will also be attending the party today. This has not been heard before. Your brother has returned. The mother gently instructed her. Thinking of this, Your brother, the one who is an aide, must find it strange to witness Prince Lydia's engagement ceremony. After the party ends, take the time to gather together. After a long time, Lucia nodded and said, yes. The father also did not forget to tell her, by the way, I saw the Casper family's carriage outside. We will be going separately, so go ahead and join the marquis. This made Lucia feel a little sudden. He is already here. She gently backed away. Then I will go first. Then hurriedly turned around to leave. She smiled and said, honey, our daughter is really beautiful today. Right? The father completely agreed. Yes, she is very beautiful. At this time, Byrne was standing and waiting outside. He seemed to be looking at his watch. Byrne raised his face. His face went blank for a bit. Lucia. He sincerely praised. You look beautiful. Lucia also honestly replied. You look handsome today too, Byrne. Byrne put the watch away and said, I am glad you wore the earrings I gave you. Lucia shyly touched it. On an occasion like this, what else could I wear besides the earrings you gave me? The two of them walked together to the carriage. I chose it after careful consideration, and my choice was excellent, thank you. Byrne gently asked her opinion. I am really looking forward to this party. What about you, Lucia? Lucia spoke and replied, I am also very much looking forward to it. I can meet my friends at the academy after a long time. The two of them quickly arrived at the palace. The floor was paved with luxurious stones. When everyone saw it, they had to exclaim, oh my, that person is, I heard he is in the north. Herwin Peneus arrived, making everyone astonished. He is even more handsome than the rumors say. He walked in full of handsomeness. Suddenly someone called, Herwin. He smiled and turned his head. She was excited to meet her best friend again. You came. I thought you would not come. This is a major national event. I can't miss it. Both my parents could not attend, so I had to come. Arista reached out her hand, inviting him in. Let us go. Our friends are inside. She asked about some recent things. So how is it, the north? Herwin calmly replied. What do you mean? I just hunt monsters all day and night. But Arista was full of interest. That is what I mean. What are those monsters like? Are they strong? What kind of monsters are they? Herwin realized that his friend did not care about him. Right, that is more important to you than knowing about my health, right? Arista looked up with anticipation. The north is the only place in the empire where monsters appear. You should know that not every swordsman can conquer monsters, Herwin. Herwin just smiled faintly. He understood Arista's meaning. If so, do you want to go monster hunting with me? Hearing that, her eyes lit up. Can I? Herwin smiled indulgently. You are so predictable. But she immediately pouted. What do you mean? Her eyes made him correct his words. It is that you can't refuse anything related to swords. Your only hobby is swords. Hearing that, she confidently expressed, Arista Lydia will die. If you take away my sword, I have had a sword in my hand since I was born. Herwin pretended to be amazed to that extent. Arista confidently confirmed. That is right. So do not forget your promise to take me monster hunting. While they were gossiping happily, someone called, Olong, Herwin, Arista. Some friends who had been sitting in one place for a long time. Hello, we are waiting for you. Herwin smiled and said, It has been a long time, everyone. They greeted her. Hello, we are waiting for you, Arista. Today is your older brother's engagement ceremony. How do you feel? Arista slowly sat down and replied, How can I feel? She revealed a bored expression. Well, thanks to the engagement, I will escape my parents, nagging for a while. Christine was also in a similar situation. I have been having a lot of trouble with that. Lately, I know they are worried because I have reached the age to get married, but... Ethan crossed his arms, his feelings full of discomfort. Because the people around us are getting engaged one after another, the parents are even more than that. Brian also had to nod in agreement. That is right. Marriage proposals are starting to pour in. I wonder who among us will get married first. All of them focused their eyes on Herwin. Why is everyone looking at me? He scratched his head and replied, I just thought you would get married first. Herwin looked at Ethan and teased, Can I get married alone? And I think Ethan will get married first, but his face turned pale. That would be great. Christine sighed. If I could escape the nagging, then I would want to go back to the academy. They remembered the moments of their school days, so nostalgic. The days at the academy, making Herwin also think about that. The days at the academy. Lucia at that time confessed to him every time. Herwin, I like you. But he did not care much, I know. There was always Lucia following him. Are you angry? Here it is, as long as it is not a public confession. It must be fun. Thinking of that, he unconsciously smiled. It must be fun. Arista mentioned someone that made Herwin startled. But what about Lucia? Will he come with Lucas today? He then smiled awkwardly and replied, the last time I saw her was before I went on an expedition to the north. Hearing that, his friends were extremely jealous. You two met alone. What about us? That is right. What did you two say? Herwin turned his face away, dodging. We did not talk much. He remembered Lucia's stunned expression at that time. Herwin felt a little guilty again. They did not make it difficult for him anymore. Is that so? Invite us next time then. Just then, Arista immediately discovered, wait, is not that Lucia over there? She wondered, but who was the man walking next to him that made Herwin have to pay attention? What? Lucia and Byrne were gradually walking towards them. She friendly waved her hand to greet, you guys? But Lucia had slightly retracted her hand. Lucia hooked arms with Byrne, introducing them to him. They are my classmates. Byrne coordinated very well, I see. That action made the group exclaim, Lucia is hooking arms with him. Could it be that they are dating? Herwin was suddenly speechless. Lucia. Lucia expressed her longing. It has been so long, everyone. Arista friendly pointed, Lucia, it has been how long? There is an empty seat over there, Lucia politely replied. Thank you. The two of them then calmly sat down. Herwin thoughtfully looked at the two of them getting along well. She was curious about the person next to her, by the way. Who is the person you are with? Lucia did not hesitate to introduce. He is the person who will become my fiancé. He politely introduced himself to everyone. I am Byrne Casper. I have heard Lucia say a lot about everyone. From now on, we will meet often. After hearing that, the four of them looked at each other with meaningful eyes. Lucia asked in surprise, why do you look so surprised? Isn't that a bit rude? Brian confusedly apologized. Sorry. Both Ethan and Christine said in unison, we apologize if we made you feel uncomfortable. Please forgive our rudeness, Marquise Casper. Lucia chuckled. It is okay. It is understandable that you are surprised. We will sit for a bit longer so we can talk a little. They also did not mind much. Okay, that is good then. Christine really wanted to know. But you two do not have a real connection. How did you two meet? Arista also asked. I am curious too, Lucia. Byrne friendly told the story. We met through a formal matchmaking session. I arrived late for some reason, but Lucia waited for me. He leaned into her full of affection. Luckily, right? I almost missed such a good woman, making Lucia blush. Byrne. Then Herwin coldly asked, Lucia, you went to a matchmaking meeting? When did that happen? Lucia tried to remember, about 3 weeks ago. His attitude became more and more gloomy. That is when I went to the north. Lucia confusedly asked, so are you still living well? Byrne then proposed to her, Lucia, do you want to go greet my friends? She happily agreed with that, yes, okay. Lucia stood up. Everyone, please excuse us. They said goodbye. See you next time. Ethan suddenly felt confused. Didn't you hear that Lucia went to a matchmaking meeting? Herwin then denied. No, I was in the north at that time. That made him even more curious. Well, I am still surprised that she did not tell you this. The two of you have always been best friends since you were little. He only answered in a small voice. That is right. He remembered the story when he was little. She sobbed. Take care, Herwin. He always maintained his original intention with her. Since the day we first met, for me, Lucia has always been that way. At that time, he had to sob too when saying goodbye. I will visit again, Lucia. She lifted her foot up. Lucia came closer, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Remember to write to me. That is something that won't change, even when we are far apart. The letters were always sent. I heard that the snow in the north never stops falling. Right? I will come to the Peneus territory next winter. Herwin also replied back. I am only replying now because I am busy with practicing swordsmanship. A new tutor has just arrived at the castle, and from today, we will no longer practice with wooden swords, but with real swords. And Lucia also sent regularly. Herwin, I heard that monsters have appeared again in the Peneus region. Thousands of intentions, the two just passed back and forth. Thinking about it, you are really not afraid of anything, right? Is it because you are very strong? The scariest moment in my life was when I fought through the wild dogs for you, so never go into that forest again, Lucia. The two also gradually grew up, time passed, and we entered the academy. I also have new friends. In what position in his heart? But Lucia is still the most special person to me. At that time, Lucia called out his name. Hey, Herwin. Herwin was ready to listen. She did not hesitate to express, I like you. He looked at her with eyes of indulgence. You are doing that again. Lucia pouted, wanting to know, why do not you answer me? Suddenly, someone called, Lucia. She also replied, Bianca. She appeared at just the right time. It is so nice to see both of you here. Are you talking about something important, or anything else? Lucia shyly replied from behind, no, we were not saying anything. Herwin crossed his arms and questioned, so what? Bianca took her hand and pulled, do you want to go to the library with me? Making her hesitate, now I, Lucia. But she did not let go. I have a lot to say to you. Let us go. Hurry. Causing Lucia to have to agree. Okay. Right at that moment, Herwin always thought that it was not from the bottom of her heart. Sometimes, Lucia's confession is like a joke. And I never even imagined that we would date because Lucia is someone. He regarded her as an important person, too precious to lose for something like a breakup. From deep in Herwin's heart, I always wanted to be by Lucia's side as her only friend. However, that happened to him, but contrary to my wishes. Lucia sincerely said her heart, Herwin, I like you. Making Herwin hard to answer, on my 18th birthday, Lucia confessed to me again. She sincerely spoke her feelings. From the age of 8 until now, there has not been a moment when I have not been sincere with you. Making him a little embarrassed, that confession that day was different from the other times. It was not something like a joke. He could not restrain his emotions, making my heart beat constantly. But in the back, someone was preparing to intervene. If nothing happened after that, maybe I would have accepted her feelings. A dozen people around discovered that confession. What is this? Even if you are childhood friends, you should know your place. Lucia had to receive all the criticism, and Herwin was severely shocked. So that is why you ignored us. When we asked you to introduce Herwin, it seems that it is not just once or twice that she has said. She likes him since she was 8 years old. He fell into a stiff state. Lucia gently reached out her hand. Herwin, are you okay? He then ran right away. Lucia frantically called back Herwin and he sadly remembered it. Because of that incident, we became distant for a while. He also discovered the person pulling the strings in the back, because Lucia avoided me at the academy. Arista wondered and asked, so she is still angry. Herwin was wiping his sword and recounted. She even broke the promise that we had promised when we were little, and now she completely avoids me. Is that so? She wanted to try to ask, do you know what Lucia said that day? A series of bad words poured on Lucia's head. Everyone thinks that she is still pursuing you even though you do not like her. Some people even laugh, saying that she was rejected in the most humiliating way. But he did not understand why Lucia did that. So what was she thinking to do that in a crowded place like that? You know that the party that day was held at Bianca's mansion, right? Arista was angry, so she spoke loudly. She lied to Lucia, saying that the balcony area was closed to other guests. At this time, Herwin was startled. What? Arista exposed Bianca's evil face? She knew Lucia liked you and intended to humiliate her. She even said the exact time to confess that night. He gradually felt uncomfortable. Bianca Lawrence did something like that. Arista continued to tell. Maybe Lucia was too scared, so she did not approach you. She said that this would not have happened if she had not believed Bianca's lies. His eyes went rigid. Lucia said that. Then Herwin stood up. She suddenly felt confused. Where are you suddenly going? Herwin harshly blurted out, I will go see Lucia right now. Arista liked this appearance of him. Okay, have a clear talk. And right at that party, I guess at around that time I started to like Arista. We became closer when we talked about Lucia more. He still remembered Lucia's smiling appearance from that day. Let us meet again with a smile on our faces. And when he saw her walking alongside Byrne, Lucia looked happier than before. Herwin still could not understand his heart. So why can't I smile, Lucia? Under the luxurious lights of the party, young men and women closely held each other. Lucia sighed heavily. Byrne subtly saw that and gently asked, Lucia. She forced a smile. Yes, Byrne. He looked worried. Are you not feeling well? Lucia gently explained, I think I am just a little nervous. Bern gently said, you can rest a bit before meeting my friends. But she regained her spirits quickly. No, I want to meet them right away. Then, Lucia changed the subject. What kind of relationship do these friends have with Bern? He strode with her and said, we do not meet often now, but we were close since we were in the academy. He reached out his hand to point. They are right in front. His eyes met the table in front, those people. There were two people complaining to each other with gloom. How is the Merchant Association lately? You know how strict my father is. Bern excitedly called out the names, Adolf, Hector. The two of them were delighted when they saw Bern appear. Oh my God, look who it is, so you are still alive after all. They could not have expected his appearance. Even someone like Bern appears in places like this. I was very worried because I did not hear any news from you. Bern then quickly told the story. What is so serious about me being here? I have been busy with inheriting the title and other things. And the two of them had subtly noticed. But who is the beautiful girl standing next to you? Hector then subtly reminded, you are being rude to her just after meeting. Bern reached out his hand with pleasure. Let me formally introduce her. This is Miss Agnes, my fiancée. Lucia curtsied to show etiquette. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Hector Chase. That made Adolf have to ask again. Bern, you, seriously? While Hector had stood up and bowed. It is nice to meet you, miss. I am Hector Chase. Seeing that, Adolf then stood up to do the same. I was too surprised, so I was a little rude. I am Adolf Bailey. Lucia hurriedly said, it is okay. Please raise your head. She confusedly waved her hands. Bern said no one else knows, so maybe you were very surprised, Bern. He scratched his head and said, I did not expect Bern of all people to bring a fiancé. Adolf had to ask again. Bern, you have really moved on. He nodded to confirm. Maybe I also need to cheer myself up. Hearing that, the two friends were happy for him. That is really a right decision. I am glad you met a good person, right? I am so relieved to see that you have found someone to settle down with. Hector even came to ask Lucia for a favor. Miss, he still has many shortcomings, but please take care of him. She was still a little awkward. Yes, of course. The night at present had appeared to twinkling stars. In the magnificent grand hall in that castle, the young ladies and young masters held hands together to dance. Bern elegantly reached out his hand to her. Miss, may I have this dance? Lucia happily smiled and agreed. I am very honored. The two of them took each other's hands and intertwined them tightly. The talented couple danced under the tango music with a graceful sway. Bern lightly touched the waist Lucia, but she was a little distracted. Looking behind, Herwin was in the hands of Arista dancing together. That made her eyes seem to lose something, falling into a state of electric shock. Her hands trembled when holding Bern's hand. He gently reminded, pulling her back into his arms. Lucia, only look at me. Lucia, with red cheeks and lips, looked at him. Her feet lifted up a little. Now she realized, thanks to Bern, I finally feel relaxed. He cared for her meticulously in every way. Do you feel okay now? She nodded and said, thanks to you, Bern, you are really so perceptive. I did not need to say anything, and you helped me. Bern softly smiled and blurted out, looking closely, Lucia expresses everything on her face. Lucia revealed pouting cheeks and asked him, am I really that predictable? Bern smiled with a bit of teasing. I told you, you have to look closely. Then, they coordinated well with each other. To the part of turning around, she spoke, Bern. She really wanted to know the reason, why did you choose me? His words had much meaning, because you and I are very similar. That is why I chose you, Lucia. Bern always cared about her mood. Did that answer your question? But Lucia also replied sensitively, only half. I won't ask about the remaining half. Bern blushed a bit more, and softly said, thank you. Just then someone called, Lucia. Herwin wanted to invite her to dance with me, the next dance. For a few seconds, her eyes had some fluctuation. I always dance with Herwin at parties, so that is not strange at all. But today, I want to avoid that. Lucia was confused by that invitation. Someone appeared and blocked. Sorry, but it seems that Miss Lucia is not feeling well at this time. So let us wait for another occasion. Bern and Herwin looked at each other with hostile eyes. He revealed worried eyes and asked her, Lucia, are you really not feeling well? Lucia was a little evasive. Yes, I am sorry, Herwin. I think I sprained my ankle a little while dancing just now. Herwin's voice became more and more flustered. What, does it hurt a lot? Then I will. Byrne immediately blocked, expressing caution. I will take good care of her. Making it hard for Herwin to do anything, he spoke, making an excuse to leave. Then, we're going. The two people left together. Byrne brought Lucia to the fountain. I hope I did not overdo it. He gently explained. It seems that you wanted to avoid Duke Peneus, so I stood up. Lucia closed her eyes, discomfort rising. Am I right? He turned his back to get things, instructing Lucia. Since we are here, let us stay a little longer. I will go get drinks. Only Lucia was left alone there. Lucia looked at herself in the water. No matter how much I prepare myself, pretending to be okay in front of everyone, it is harder than I thought. Suddenly the water shot up. Lucia unconsciously turned around. What caught her eyes, she was approaching Bianca. The two of them were stunned, calling each other's names. Lucia, Bianca. She said awkwardly, It has been a long time, right? Even Lucia turned her face away. Yes, go on, she then asked. Is anyone sitting here? Bianca felt really embarrassed. If not, can I sit here? She indifferently agreed, okay. So Bianca sat next to Lucia. I thought I would never see her again. After that day, the castle was magnificent and splendid. Time flowed back a few years, when Lucia was attentively reading a book. There were a few female students who came over, Lucia, Miss Agnes. Lucia politely greeted, Hello, what are you here for? They wanted to ask her to get to know Herwin. Can you introduce us to Herwin? I heard that you are a childhood friend with young Master Peneus. Then Lucia gently refused, Sorry, but Herwin is very shy. I do not think it will work. Since they could not get what they wanted, they spoke badly of her. Miss Agnes always refuses us. Can't you just introduce him once? Hearing those words, Lucia's hands trembled. Are you sure you two are just friends, or do you really like Herwin? Suddenly, someone jumped out and shouted, What is wrong with you two? Bianca came forward and criticized, You are acting as if Lucia has an obligation to introduce you to young Master Peneus. You do not even dare to talk to him yourselves. Yet now you are being greedy. Then the two girls retorted, Bianca, are you talking back? But Bianca hit their sore spot. You do not like being ignored either, right? So do not bully someone who is silent. At that time, Lucia had a very favorable impression of Bianca. The two of them became friends. Since that moment, Bianca and I became close. They were like sisters. While other girls looked at me with envy because of Herwin, she became my source of comfort. One day, Bianca called her Lucia. She asked in a small voice, Is there someone you like? Lucia blushed and evaded. No, I do not. But Bianca had known for a long time. Lying? You like Herwin, right? Lucia was so shocked that she covered her mouth. Seeing that, she then comforted her. It is okay if you do not want to say it. I only asked because I thought we were best friends. Hearing that, she was very touched, Bianca. In her heart, she had a little ache. If it is Bianca, then she would not share my secret with other people. It probably would not hurt to tell her, right? Lucia then confessed everything. Sorry for lying, actually I do like Herwin, Bianca asked back. Really? Her head lowered a little. But this is a secret, she wondered. Why are you hiding it so well? Lucia shook her head and said, If the girls knew then, they would not keep asking me to introduce them to Herwin. I can't, I promised Herwin. Her memories gradually flooded back. What promise? I have confessed my feelings to him since I was little. I even confessed in front of other people too. Bianca asked again. Really? Lucia smiled and replied, So now we have agreed not to do that in public anymore. Lucia smiled in bitterness. I can't control my feelings, but we have promised to only act like friends. And then her mood panicked. But what if Herwin likes someone else? Lucia had tried to think about that issue. If he likes someone else, I guess I will be silent. Bianca was stunned by her answer. What? Bianca crossed her arms, giving her advice. You have been waiting for him since you were little. Of course you should make a move. She blushed and scratched her cheek. Well, is that so? Lucia still smiled brightly at Bianca's sigh. You are amazing. Back then, I only felt relieved. I only revealed my feelings, but that made me feel a lot more comfortable. And what was coming, but then, Bianca began to change. Gradually, Bianca ran to ask her, Do you know? At this time, Lucia still did not know. Know what? She was starting to spread news that Herwin likes Miss Lydia. Do not. You know, you are close with both of them. Lucia had asked about the details. Maybe everyone is just talking because they often appear together. I asked Arista already, and she said she does not like anyone. But Bianca showed that she had to make Lucia believe. Her, Lucia, you believe that? She smirked slyly. Miss Lydia is just playing with you. Lucia was always sober in every situation. That can't be. Bianca, I trust Arista, and not long after, that thing happened. The thing that she felt the most embarrassed about, when everyone was at Herwin's birthday party. They ridiculed and teased, witnessing my first public confession. Lucia had received severe criticism. From that day on, I became the laughingstock of the academy. She had disappeared as if she had never appeared. After that, I could not meet Bianca again. I did not even have time to ask the reason. At this time, she hesitated to ask, "How have you been lately?" She asked about Herwin too. And Herwin, are you still close with him? Or have you two gotten engaged or something? Lucia coldly replied, "What are you trying to say? Why are you asking like that? Have we ever been close enough to ask questions like that?" Bianca's head lowered a little, expressing embarrassment. "I was just curious. I left the academy and came to the capital after so long I do not know anything." She felt guilty. Tears welled up in her eyes. "I have always wanted to apologize if we had a chance to meet again." "I am really sorry, Lucia." Bianca made an excuse. "I was not sober back then," she angrily shouted. "Then why did you do that? You are my friend." Only now did she confess. "The truth is, I also liked Herwin." Lucia was stunned at this moment. "And that is the reason you did that to me." She hugged her face, admitting her mistakes. "I admit that I was jealous. I have always regretted it since then." Making her have to loudly interrogate, "It is not just me who likes Herwin, so why did it have to be me?" Bianca absent-mindedly remembered, "That thing, the reason I did that, and confessed a disgusting thing, is because I hate you more than Arista." Lucia could not believe her ears. "What are you saying?" Bianca had told her a truth, "Because Herwin likes you." A second shocking piece of news came to her. "What?" Bianca repeated again, "Herwin likes you." But Lucia still did not completely believe it. "After all, what makes you say that? Herwin does not like me. He likes Arista." She smiled bitterly, saying that, "You do not have to lie. I gave up on him a long time ago." Since this sentence was said, both of them fell into disarray. At this time, Bianca grabbed her shoulders and shook her a few times. "Wait a minute. So you and Herwin are nothing to each other. What about the engagement? I heard that you are getting engaged." Lucia gently looked away. "It is not like that between me and Herwin. I am getting engaged to someone else." This made Bianca extremely shocked. Just then, Byrne returned. "Lucia, did I make you wait long? I brought some drinks." He held 2 glasses of wine in front of her. "Do you have a guest?" In passing, Lucia introduced him. This is my friend from the academy. Her name is Bianca." She politely curtsied. "It is nice to meet you. I am Bianca Lawrence." Byrne politely replied, "I am Byrne Casper. Lucia and I have recently started dating with the intention of progressing to marriage." He gently handed the glass of wine to Lucia. "Lucia, let us drink something first," she said. "Thank you, Byrne." The two of them held hands very affectionately. "Do you feel a little better?" "Yes." Witnessing this scene, Bianca did not know what to say. Feeling that she had disturbed the two of them, "I should go back to the banquet hall now." As she turned to leave, Lucia called back, "Wait, Bianca." She gave that glass of wine back to him. "Byrne, I will be right back." After seeing Bianca off, Byrne also agreed. "Okay." Bianca turned around and asked, "Why did you come?" "I am fine going back alone." Lucia wanted to talk. "Frankly, I need to talk to you clearly." She seemed to still not understand what, she continued to say, that everything you thought during those school days was just a misunderstanding. Lucia's voice became low. "It is ridiculous that Herwin likes me. Moreover, I have given up on Herwin." Bianca only let out one sentence. "Looking at this, it seems you do not know anything. If the person involved still does not know, then maybe I was wrong." And finally gave her a wish. "I hope your choice is right. Goodbye." Lucia stood outside, her mood absent-minded. What? The castle was still so radiant in the night. Lucia had returned home and was brushing her hair herself. The time when she came back to sit with Byrne. She had begun to worry about many things. He must have noticed it already, that my mood worsened after Bianca's visit. If he asks me what is wrong, what should I say? Byrne then spoke at just the right time. "Lucia, let us go home early today." Lucia was so surprised by Burn's sensitivity. "You do not need to do that just for me," he smiled and said. "It is because I am worried about you after all. Quite a few things happened at the party today." For a minute, she felt warm, Burn. Lucia smiled and sent him her most sincere gratitude. "Thank you. Without urging me to say what happened, he really cares, if I am with this person." Suddenly someone knocked on her door. "Come in." Lucas entered the room and asked, "Are you still awake?" In the meantime, she did not understand much. "Yes. Why?" He showed concern. "I was worried because I did not see you at the party." But she did not want to mention that, I was not feeling well, so I came home early. Then Lucia asked back, "You can say that too. This is the first time in a long time you have come home on time, so why did you come home early?" He did not hide it, replying, I was just on my way home after hearing about your partner." So she stood up and said to him, "It seems that this will be a long conversation, so let us sit over there." This time, Lucas seriously asked her, "You are not really planning to get engaged to Marquise Casper, are you?" Lucia then found it strange. "Burn and I are still getting to know each other. Why are you suddenly asking about the engagement?" His face and attitude were a little guilty. "I thought you were not old enough to think about marriage yet. If you do not like anyone, just wait a little longer, Lucia." But the following words made him surprised. "I understand. Our parents are impatient because I have not gotten married soon. But actually, going on blind dates with Burn was my decision." Lucas tried to ask again. "Really?" Lucia's eyes did not look straight at him anymore. "Many things happened in the capital while you were working in the duchy, brother." Lucas wanted to know more clearly. "What happened that made you suddenly go on dates?" She put her hand on her chest and confessed, "Actually, I liked someone. I confessed to him many times, but I was rejected every time." Lucas was curious. "How many times?" she said, estimating. "About 100 times." He angrily stood up abruptly. "He rejected you as many as 100 times. But Lucia still said gently that, "My parents were by my side and witnessed me being rejected by him as many as 100 times. That is why they came up with the idea of going on blind dates. And I went to give up on him." Then Lucas calmly sat down again. "So, do you like Marquise Casper that you are meeting now?" She frankly said to him, "It is hard to say that I like him right away, but we communicate pretty well." His hand clenched a little, feeling a little sorry for his younger sister, Lucia. "I just hate the circumstances you are in, having to get to know someone you do not even like, while based on the premise of an engagement." Hearing that, Lucia became even more gloomy. He tried to correct his words. Of course. I am just saying that because I want you to be happy." Lucas had already twisted his arms wanting to punch that person a few times. "Who was that person who rejected you 100 times from the beginning? I am curious how amazing he is. If he is just an unknown person, I will..." Lucia revealed right away, "It is someone you know, brother." Lucas was startled. Who is it?" The answer made Lucas get stuck. "It is Herwin Peneus." His whole body burst into flames. "The person who rejected your confession so many times was Herwin Peneus." Lucas showed a bored face. "You know I like Herwin." He rubbed his head, seeming unable to believe. "I just did not think you still liked Herwin, even after you graduated from the academy." Lucia smiled and advised, "So, brother, you should marry the person you love, for me." Lucas reluctantly accepted that. "Okay, I promise." "So, Lucia, you promise me too." Lucas will always be a support for her, that you will be happy no matter what happens. "And if you have difficulties, tell me." She smiled and agreed. "Okay, I will do that." A few more days passed. On the table were piled with letters. That made her have to ask her mother, "Are all these invitations for me?" She spoke to confirm. "That is right. It seems everyone knows the news that Marquise Casper is pursuing you." After hearing that, Lucia also did not understand, what does this have to do with the Casper family? The mother explained to her, "The upper class is always very interested in a couple who are about to get married," and emphasized the level of importance between the two families. Moreover, since both the Agnes family and the Marquis Casper family are respected families, it attracts even more attention. She revealed discomfort. These gatherings won't be comfortable, right? Then I do not want to go." She understood her daughter's meaning, so there are only a few parties that need to be attended. "In that case, I will shorten it to only the places that you must attend, and you must go to those places. Okay?" She had arranged them neatly. "Go to this one first, then go to that one. What is it?" She noticed the blue letter. The handwriting looked so familiar. Inside the letter was written, "If you do not mind, Lucia, I would like to invite you to a gathering. I will wait for your reply. Reading this letter, Lucia happily exclaimed, "There is a place I want to go to first." She then asked, "Whose invitation is it?" Lucia showed her mother. "It is Christine. She is gathering everyone after a long time. Will Herwin be there?" She then happily said, "No, this time it is just a gathering for the girls." The mother sighed in relief. "Oh, is that so? Then that is good." She had already selected a few envelopes. "These are the invitations to the gatherings that you really should attend. I will separate the ones that you can safely skip. Thank you, Mother." Outside, the sun shone brightly into the yard. The butler led the way. "I will escort you to the VIP room that Miss Christine has reserved." Lucia friendly opened the door and greeted, "Girls, it has been a long time, right? Sorry, I am a little late." Inside, Arista and Christine were already there. "Come in, Lucia. We just arrived." Lucia slowly sat down on the chair. She then asked about some things. "Christine, is this the new place that you mentioned?" She smiled with satisfaction. "Yes, this time, my father has given me full authority to run it." Arista began to tease her. "So the gathering for girls is just an excuse? Is that the real reason you invited us?" Christine was a little annoyed. "Of course, I only invited the two of us, so we can chat intimately and comfortably." She puffed out her chest with confidence. "That is why I will be treating today. Order anything you want," causing the two of them to clap. Wow. The party was set out with delicious and attractive food. The ladies were looking forward to her matchmaking story. Come on, Lucia. Tell us how you met Marquise Byrne." "That is right. Tell us the story from the blind date." Lucia began the story with annoyance. The first guy was a complete failure. She remembered those filthy words. "Actually, I already have someone I am interested in. Sadly, she is a commoner, so marriage is not an option." Hearing that, the ladies had to exclaim, "Wait." He suddenly admitted that there was another woman. The two of them shouted, "How rude." Lucia gloomily continued to tell. The second and third were not much better. As if taking them for a birthing machine and an OSIN. One person told me that I had to take care of my mother-in-law, and another went straight into the plan to have children. Telling to that part, she felt a chill. "Oh, I can't stand those guys," Arista also expressed. At first, hearing that Marquise Casper was late gave a bad impression. But compared to the previous people, he is not that bad. Lucia also evaluated that, at least Bernard admitted his mistake, and gave a proper apology. To the point that Christine had to sigh. "I feel lucky to have met Marquise Casper." Lucia agreed, "Right." She now really asked, "Lucia, are you really okay with this?" Lucia calmly replied, "I am just going there a little earlier than you. That is the last thing I have to face." The two of them felt happy for her. "That is great, Lucia. I really can't imagine going on matchmaking dates." Lucia also reminded them, "You two should also start preparing. Have not your families mentioned the engagement yet?" Christine then tried to avoid it. "I am still pretending not to pay attention, but it would not be surprising if one day I am dragged to a meeting." Then Lucia asked a question. "If you participated in matchmaking dates, what kind of person would you want to meet?" She only requested simply, "As long as they do not interfere with my work, that is enough." But with Arista, she hesitated a little. Ideally, she wanted a really happy marriage, because that is the person I will spend my whole life with. I want that person to be someone I love. Christine also asked, "Oh my, so who does Arista like?" But Arista was still happily single. "There's no one yet." That answer made her face droop. "Ah, is that so? I was hoping in vain." So Arista burst out laughing. "What will you do if I tell you then?" she teased a little. Actually, I thought you were going to say that you were going to marry your sword." "What? Even if I love my sword no matter what, I will never say that." While the ladies were talking and laughing, Lucia was pensive again. Who does Arista like? She was thinking of Herwin. Could it be that the person is... Lucia smiled on her lips. Lucia sincerely said to her, "Arista, if it is you, I think you will be able to marry the person you really love, Lucia." She sincerely expressed, "So when you fall in love with someone, promise me that you will tell them. Maybe they also feel that way about you." Arista accepted that idea. "Thank you, Lucia. I will do that." As for Christine, she was also happy today. "I am so glad that we had a gathering just for the girls. We get to talk about love as we please." The ladies all agreed. "That is right." She wanted to say something, so Christine suggested a topic. "Since we have heard enough about marriage, how about we talk about Marquise Casper now?" But Lucia then repeated, "We have already talked about Byrne." This time, Christine was interested in her parents. What did your parents say? Lucia calculated the time a bit. I have not introduced him to my parents yet. He is planning to visit the Agnes mansion soon, so maybe then. Both of them were surprised after hearing that. Marquise Casper is going to visit the Agnes mansion? Really? Lucia happily replied, yes, I invited him to lunch in a few days. Time flowed by again. A few days later, the two of them intimately drank tea and enjoyed cake. The scent is so fragrant, Bern. When I see these flowers, for some reason, I remember you, Lucia. She blushed and thanked. Thank you. Bern smiled and praised. They really suit you. She gave that bouquet of flowers to Seline and said, Seline, please put them in my room. Then Bern expressed his heart. Actually, I did not think you would invite me to your house. I thought your family might also be here. Is no one home? Only she was home. Ah, yes, my parents are away on business. My brother also went out for a bit. Lucia noticed that she was not hosting properly. I feel sorry that you came here and they are not here. All of them were looking forward to meeting you, Bern happily replied. Hearing that makes me feel a little more comfortable. I was very worried, wondering if they might not accept me. Lucia hurriedly denied. No, actually, there is a reason why I invited you today, Bern. She wanted to hear Bern's opinion. Lately, I have been receiving a lot of invitations, and I want you to give me advice on some of those invitations. He looked at them and felt confused. Oh my God, are all of them invitations? She nodded to confirm. That is right. I guess that mentioning the engagement at the party recently had some effects. Bern had to affirm that even 10 people are not enough to attend all these invitations. He then thought for a moment. Bern pushed some letters aside. Don't go to these places. Our family does not get along well with them, and to be honest, you won't be welcome there. He gave her the green card. But these places will be beneficial for you to visit, Lucia. She was ready to accept. Thank you. You have helped me understand a lot. He smiled and replied, No, I should thank you for informing me in advance. I also receive invitations like this sometimes. Is there anything special I need to pay attention to? Lucia waved her hand. Not really. She put her hand on her chest. If I said it could fulfill my wish, won't that be hard? During that time, Bern was a little stunned. She admitted everything. I think you know about my rumors already. But the reason I am saying this is because of what people say. Everything from simple curiosity to ridicule is poured out. Lucia's voice became more and more low. I am used to things like that, but Bern, you... He took her hand, pulling her into his chest. Lucia. That is not your fault, Lucia. Bern sweetly said that. So you do not need to feel guilty, she felt a little surprised, Bern. The most wonderful words were spoken by Bern himself. I chose you, Lucia, because I wanted to. Other people's words won't change that. That made her become confused. Lucia smiled brightly, becoming moved. Bern, you are really a sincere person. The reason you have never asked anything until now is because you care about me, right? She felt very happy. Thank you. Thanks to you. I feel much better now. Bern also thought so. That is great then. Then Lucia mentioned one more thing. Last time, you said you chose me because I am like you, right? Yes, Bern nodded. That is right. She said a little gloomily. No matter how much I think about it, I still can't understand what points I am like you. There are still many things I can't tell you. Bern slightly let go of her hand. There are also some things that I am hiding. I am not as upright and honest as you think. But Lucia took his hand back. I do not know what you are hiding. She was ready to listen to everything from him, but I hope there will be a day when you can tell me everything. Bern gently replied, Me too. The two of them understood each other. In the meantime, Herwin was focusing on practicing swordsmanship. His body was full of muscles, practicing continuously. Jerome crossed his arms worriedly. How many hours have passed? He took gloves from his pocket. Young master, it has been 3 hours. Herwin's body was full of sweat. Turning around. What? He slowly came closer. Haven't you been overdoing it in the past few days? What is bothering you lately, young master? Jerome gave him a handkerchief. Please rest a bit. Herwin wiped the sweat on his cheeks. Damn it. He tried to ask, Young master, has something been bothering you lately? He tried to avoid it. Nothing. Jerome worriedly blurted out. Then look at us. The mood in the entire mansion is very gloomy because you have been in a bad mood lately and you have been practicing your sword for hours like a madman. Herwin glared and asked, So you think I am like a madman? He only now realized, I guess I have seemed like that lately. He tried to coax Herwin. Young master, You are not angry, are you? Anyway, if there is something that is bothering you, then you can tell me. Herwin's voice hesitated a little. There is something I want to ask you. It is not about me, but about my friend. Jerome was feeling curious. Your friend, who is it? Young Master, Brian, Ethan, or Lucia? Herwin then denied all of them. A friend that you do not know. He was setting up a hypothesis for the non-existent friend. He has a childhood friend. The childhood friend has confessed to him many times, but my friend has repeatedly rejected her. Herwin's face was very gloomy. But a few days ago, that childhood friend suddenly brought a fiancé. Jerome then chuckled. Sounds like a story I know very well. He was reasoning, then is not that a good thing for your friend? The childhood friend who liked him ended up liking someone else. Suddenly both of them did not say anything. He again thought of the scene of having to face burn. No, instead of good, I feel more confused. Herwin gradually did not know where to start. What I mean is my friend. Jerome started acting. Why is he confused? He was the one who rejected her. While Herwin's face was still blank, I do not understand. His face became serious. That friend rejected the confession. The childhood friend brought a fiancé. And now your friend is feeling confused. Why is this so complicated? Herwin was setting up a fake friend persona. He does not seem happy at all. Jerome suddenly came up with an idea. Oh, then maybe he feels hurt. Now Herwin noticed, hurt. He slowly analyzed, yes, if they are childhood friends, they must have been close since they were little and know everything about each other, but then one day, that person suddenly brings a fiancé. Just like the mood Herwin was in, so he feels that they are no longer as close as before. Jerome said as if affirming, he also feels abandoned because the news of the engagement was not reported early. Surely that is it. Herwin also agreed. Maybe you are right. Herwin was stringing everything together. If he has feelings for her? He then went crazy. That is impossible. Jerome felt that something was not right at all. Oh, why are you suddenly yelling? You did not say you were talking about yourself, did you? While Herwin was even more unable to believe. Anyway, that is impossible. His hand released the sword, and then turned around and left. I am going to take a bath now. Jerome mumbled in the back. He is even worse after that conversation. On the table was a glass of water and a letter. His feet slowly stepped outside. He kept wondering one thing. Do I feel hurt because of Lucia? Herwin picked up the glass and drank a sip of water. Hurt. He slammed the glass down on the table. Herwin's eyes had a slight sadness. Thinking about it, I still have not given her this. The emerald earrings. They would suit Lucia so well. But thinking of the scene of her turning around and leaving, I am going first. He unconsciously smiled. I bought it to give her a surprise gift, but I did not have a chance because she left in a hurry that day. He told himself, those earrings do not suit her. What I chose is much better. Herwin rubbed his head. What am I thinking about? He had a headache with his own thoughts. Is this feeling also hurt? In Herwin's head kept circling the image of the party that day. In the meantime, at a noble party, Lucia felt not very comfortable. I feel more worried than I imagined. I came here because I heard that this is a rising family, and they also have close relations with the Casper family. But she did not have any interest at all. These kinds of gatherings are really not comfortable at all. Lara gave her a little guidance. Lucia, are you ready to introduce yourself? She was startled and replied, yes. She curtsied sincerely. It is nice to meet everyone. I am Lucia Agnes. Everyone also welcomed her. Welcome, Miss Agnes. You look so young, and it is already time to step into this social world. And then was a bunch of back and forth. I heard that many young ladies are aiming for Marquise Casper, but I did not expect the person accompanying him to be Miss Agnes. Lucia smiled faintly. The winner. Is that a bit too much? They covered their mouths and whispered to each other, I see that many other ladies are envious of you, Miss. The words were like golden needles, cutting into her heart. Seline sat next to her without saying anything. Lucia was completely surprised. They are really looking at me with full of hostility. Anyway, I can't let myself look weak. Liren then worried about her. I think you will have to face more jealousy and envy from now on. What are you planning to do? What can I do? It is not my fault for having such an outstanding fiancé. Lucia gave an optimistic smile. I think I have to accept that it is fate and try to live with it. She was about to sip a sip of tea. Fate? It If you are planning to marry such a great person, then that determination is really necessary. The lady sitting next to her smiled and praised. You are so young, but you are strong, miss. That thinking is very good. Lucia at this time could finally sigh in relief. Thank goodness. It seems these ladies were satisfied with my answer. She watched everyone chat and talk. She excused herself to take a walk. Miss Laren, your garden is really beautiful. Can I visit it a bit? Laren did not make it difficult for her. Please go ahead, miss. Thank you. Stepping outside, she sighed in relief. Miss Laren is really kind, but just thinking about having to deal with those people makes me tired. I need to relax my mind a bit. While she was taking a walk, Lucia saw something unusual and turned around. Seline had been following her since when? She started a conversation and asked, Are you Miss Lucia Agnes? Lucia nodded. Yes, I am Lucia Agnes. And you are? She was still extremely shy. Please forgive me for not introducing myself. She sweetly said, I am Seline J. No, Lamario. Lucia was willing to help. All right, what can I help you with? Seline softly asked. Are you really Marquise Casper's fiancé? Lucia confirmed again. We are not officially engaged yet. The following sentence made Seline almost fall over, but there is been a promise from before. Lucia then asked, So has that answered your question? She could tell right away. This person, she likes Bern. Lucia then avoided, walking away. If there is nothing else, I will go back to my seat, but she still pulled her back. Wait. Lucia's voice became sharper. What else do you want to ask? She shouted loudly. I want to ask if Bern has ever mentioned anything about me. Hearing that, Lucia let go of her hand. She lowered her head shyly and said, Number? What am I saying? Please forget what I just said. She just kept crying. Lucia felt really awkward. It is really uncomfortable because she reminds me of myself before, but I can't comfort her. And Lucia then left, ignoring her. In the meantime, in another room, a sigh was heard long and drawn out. Aries sighed and guessed his friend's mood. What now? What is the matter this time? He pretended to be okay. Nothing. He laughed and said, Don't sigh anymore. Then tell me what is up. After a long time, Lucas finally asked, Have you ever seen Marquise Casper anywhere? He replied, right away, Number. But Lucas did not believe that. Don't answer so casually. Think again. Are you sure? Making Aries' anger flare up? Not sure either. But if you do not quickly get back to work, then I will deduct your salary. His hand holding the pen trembled continuously. If it is Marquise Casper, then I have met him a few times because of work, but I do not know much about him. He even had to repeat again. I swear I have met him somewhere. Aries still did not understand his intention. What is the matter this time? Are you trying to pry into something? Lucas's face darkened with many calculations. Occasionally, Lucia with Marquise Casper, Aries asked, so, making Lucas go crazy, that Marquise Casper occasionally goes on dates with Lucia. Aries again got to tease him. What a sister-obsessed brother. What did Marquise Casper do wrong? But Lucas still could not remember. Like something is missing. No, it is just that every time I meet or hear something about him, I feel like I have met him somewhere before, probably at the academy or somewhere. Aries arranged the documents. Anyway, I still feel like I have heard something somewhere. Just go back to work. All right, I understand that you are worried, but it has been so long since I graduated. I do not remember anything. But he was still only thinking about that. Is Becky here? Aries then said, Go meet her. Just then there was a noise outside. The butler went in to announce, Sir, there is an assistant named Becky who came here to meet you. Lucas immediately stood up. Becky is here. Aries snorted. Go meet her. Lucas smiled and said, I will handle this pile of work later. Lucas said happily, You are the best boss. But Aries was extremely upset. I really have to deduct that guy's salary. Lucas ran out very quickly. Becky said with a sweet voice, Honey. The two of them hugged hand in hand. What are you doing here? Just missed you. I was thinking of you and brought some cookies. Lucas was full of happiness when receiving it. You brought them here for me. She was also very happy following. But now I have to go. I have another appointment. Lucas took her hand to the main door. Becky, I will see you to the main door. Lucas still did not forget to ask. Becky, do you know anything about Marquise Casper? She asked curiously. Why are you suddenly asking about him? He honestly replied, He might get engaged to my younger sister, but he feels strangely familiar. Becky felt curious, really. He revealed a worried look. Because he is the fiancé of my younger sister, you also know that there are some weird nobles lately. Lucas was very worried about Lucia, like cheating, even when they have an engagement with someone else. Becky nodded. That is right. He also thought that, while there are no secrets in the world that are kept secret forever, if I really want to know, then I will definitely find out. At this time, Becky was startled. Her eyes were full of sinister thoughts. Lucas, do you want me to investigate Marquis Casper for you? The carriage carrying Herwin stopped. He stepped down from above and asked, You have arrived. Sorry for making you wait, Arista replied politely. It is okay. I just arrived. But what is wrong? Why did you suddenly ask to meet me? Herwin walked and replied. I just felt very stuffy today. Suddenly he sighed heavily. Seeing that, Arista wondered, What is wrong? You do not look very well. Herwin abruptly turned elsewhere to deny. Nothing, she then teased. Really, you are being too casual. But the words after that were extremely sincere. I do not know what is wrong, but if you want to talk about it later, then tell me. I am always here to listen to you. Herwin's heart felt a little warm. Thank you, Arista, he secretly thought. Every time I meet Arista, I feel comfortable. Being next to her is fun. I learn a lot from her, and she is the only person who shares my interests. If she said she was going to marry a stranger, I would be very sad. That shows that she is very special. Thinking of this, Herwin's footsteps suddenly stopped. Remembering Lucia and Vern's feelings, he realized, I understand. Lucia is also a very special person, so when I heard about the engagement, it made me a little sad. Having an answer to the knot, Herwin smiled. Yes, that is definitely it. Suddenly, Arista noticed this. What are you thinking about? If you have a lot of allowance, then buy me a dagger. Herwin was a little curious. A dagger, she explained, without embarrassment. My father has been constantly complaining lately to stop me from buying more weapons. If I say it is a gift from you, then he won't force me to throw it away anymore. Herwin's face had a slight reluctance. The Duke is still like that. Arista sighed, smiling sadly, and continued. He has hated me practicing swordsmanship since I was little. Now that I am at the age to get married, he is even stricter about that, but I won't give up. I will become a swordmaster, seeing her determination. Herwin nodded in acceptance. Then I will give you a long sword instead of a dagger. Arista's eyes immediately sparkled like stars. Are you serious? I won't refuse? He forced a smile and replied, Seriously. In another place, Bern and Lucia were walking together. Bern looked at her a little embarrassed. I can do this alone, but I think you have a better eye than me. Lucia smiled politely. I am always happy to help you with things like this. Suddenly, the server ran out to greet. Welcome. We just got in a new piece of jewelry that is perfect for a beautiful couple like you two. Have the two of you come here to choose engagement rings? Bern forced a smile and explained, No. Today I came just to choose a gift for my mother. It is her birthday in less than a week. Realizing that he had been tricked, the server then changed the subject. Ah, I see. Let me guide you right now. Bern did not forget to care for Lucia. Next time we will come back here to choose engagement rings. Lucia, she nodded in agreement. Let us do that, Bern. Moments later, the server brought out the selection. These are high-quality stones, currently the most popular among the middle-aged nobility. Which one do you like the most? Bern looked over once but still could not choose. At this time, Lucia spoke to help him out. His mother likes the color blue, so can you show us the gemstones that have blue tones? The server smiled warmly. Of course. Please wait a moment. Waiting for him to leave, Bern turned to her and softly asked, Do you remember my mother's preferences? She smiled. Of course I do. These words made Bern very grateful. Actually, I was not planning to ask you for help, Lucia. We are not officially engaged yet, so asking you to choose a gift for my mother felt a little rushed. But I am glad I asked you for help. You have a better eye than me. Lucia covered her mouth and chuckled. I am very happy to be able to help you. Suddenly, Bern added another piece of information. And we are not planning to hold a birthday party this year. Lucia was a little surprised. Oh, why is that? The depths of his eyes were covered with sadness. It has been a year since my father passed away. My mother is still very sad. Hearing that, Lucia blushed and lowered her head. I am sorry for asking such a sensitive question. He hurriedly reassured her. It is okay. It is not a secret or anything. Lucia raised her face with sincere eyes. I do not know if I can give her flowers on her birthday. Bern's eyes widened in surprise. Flowers. She quickly explained her intention. Yes, after all, this day is only once every year, and I want to do something that makes her happier. Even if it is just a little... Bern paused for a moment, but then laughed. I am sure Mother will really appreciate it. Lucia was happy that she was agreed. I am so glad I can do something. The door of the store burst open, followed by a voice. I told you, it is not necessary. The other person hurriedly stopped. That is, to thank you for the sword you promised me. So the couple Lucia and Bern ran into Herwin and Arista. Arista was excited to meet her, Lucia. Lucia was startled when meeting the person in front of her, Arista. Herwin? She did not pay attention to Lucia's reaction and ran over. What are you doing here? Are we interrupting the two of you's date? She forced a smile and replied casually. Not at all. I am here to help choose a birthday gift for the Duchess. Arista turned to greet Bern. Hello, Marquise Casper. He also politely replied, It is an honor, Miss Lydia. At this time, Herwin came from behind. Hello, Lucia. Bern noticed that Lucia's mood was slightly unhappy. She tried to change to another topic. And you two? What are you two doing here? Don't tell me you just happened to walk into the same store. Arista intended to speak to reply. Then Herwin coldly replied instead. We are going shopping together. In the depths of Lucia's eyes shone a hint of sadness. I see. Have fun shopping, you two. Arista suddenly made a suggestion. Or do you want to look around together, Lucia? Lucia then turned to look at Bern as a cry for help. I do not mind. How about you, Bern? He again seemed not to understand her meaning. What a good opportunity to get to know your friends. Lucia again glanced at the other person. Herwin, you. What replied was Herwin's strange smile. I want that too. So the two lovebirds together chose items. The server kept introducing. This stone is a sapphire, and this one over here is... Lucia was not very focused, always glancing towards the other side. Arista was trying on new earrings. What do you think? Herwin then looked at her gently. They suit you very well. Lucia's little heart skipped a beat. It seems that Herwin is choosing a gift for Arista. They look so happy next to each other. That is right, because they both like each other. Suddenly Bern pulled her out of her thoughts. Lucia. Lucia was startled. Yes. He held a necklace in his hand and asked, Do you want to try this on? She stammered and asked back, Me, Right after that, Bern helped her put it on. I still can't say anything just looking at the necklace. Lucia was somewhat surprised, unable to speak. Bern rubbed his chin and scrutinized once. It really suits you very well. Saying that he then decided to finalize it. Please wrap up the emerald necklace we just looked at, and I will take the one she is wearing too. Lucia intended to stop. But Bern sincerely explained, It suits you too well, so I can't ignore it, and you have helped me so much today. She again fell into confusion. Lucia suddenly remembered the emerald. What about the gift? He waved his hand and replied quickly. He said he will send it to the mansion on the arranged date. She happily gave a suggestion. Oh, then, can I invite you to dinner? I want to thank Bern for buying the necklace for me today. I just want to express my gratitude. Bern also acted politely. Then I will eat with gratitude and escort you home. Just then Arista came over. Lucia, you are leaving now. She nodded quickly. We are going to have dinner. She heard that and turned to Herwin. Really? What about you, Herwin? He glanced at Arista meaningfully. If you are hungry, then how about we have dinner together? Arista spoke instead of him to Lucia. Then, let us have dinner together. Hearing that, she was a little embarrassed, huh? Arista turned to Bern, who was standing next to her. Of course. If Marquise Casper does not mind, he seemed to be quite free. I am okay with that. Having made the plan, she called to Herwin. Great, Herwin, let us go quickly, he calmly replied, okay. Saying that Arista kept chattering in her ear, where are we going to have dinner? Lucia gave a suggestion. There is a very good restaurant nearby. I think we should go there. Speaking to this point, she suddenly paused. That is right. That place is the place where I went with Herwin before. I must be thinking too much. Herwin probably does not care about it. Arista was quite perceptive when she noticed her unusual appearance. What is wrong? Is something wrong? Lucia laughed it off. No, I was just thinking. You must be hungry, right? Let us go quickly. Moments later, the four of them had gone to the restaurant. Arista glanced over once and then commented, Wow, the style of this place is really beautiful. This is my first time here. Have you also been here before, Herwin? Herwin lazily replied shortly, Number. I've been here before. The atmosphere and the food here are both very good. Lucia looked at him worriedly. I have been thinking too much about having been here before. To avoid embarrassment, she turned to Bern. Bern, have you chosen any dishes yet? He, holding the menu, nodded. Yes, I have chosen already. Take your time to choose. She took the menu, in her heart remembering, the last time I came here, Herwin chose the dish, and it was very delicious. Bern had noticed the strange point from her. He suddenly spoke. If you are having difficulty choosing, then do you want me to suggest something for you? How about the steak with mushrooms? It seems that is the restaurant's signature dish. Looking at the mushroom dish, Lucia let out a sound. Bern does not know I can't eat mushrooms. She gently expressed, I can't eat mushrooms. Bern scratched his head embarrassed. I am sorry. I will be more careful next time. Because of his awkward appearance, she burst into a bright laugh. It is okay. I will choose another dish. Suddenly, a gloomy voice rang out. You do not even know what your fiancé can't eat. These words made Bern pay attention. Herwin took the menu without bothering to look at him and continued. At least you should remember that she can't eat mushrooms. If she eats them, then she will be sick for 2 days. Arista also remembered. That is right. I forgot. Bern then turned to look at Lucia. That could be a big problem. She not wanting to make him embarrassed, then helped him out. That is something I can avoid if I am careful. Saying that, Bern also instructed, if there is anything else that you can't eat, then tell me. She obediently replied, yes. At this time, Herwin again interrupted. Lucia, you should have told me earlier about anything you can't eat. Bern patted his chest, admitting his mistake. No, I should have been more careful. Seeing that, Lucia said to reassure. Don't worry, I won't let this happen again. Arista was the one who ended the argument. Then I will order a steak without mushrooms for you. This time I will try the mushroom steak. She, like grabbing a straw, nodded. Okay. She turned to Herwin. Herwin, what are you ordering? He uncomfortably shut his eyes. I will eat the same as you. Lucia blurted out. That is the dish you ordered last time. Bern widened his eyes in surprise. You have been here with Prince Herwin before. She confusedly explained. Yes, I should have said it sooner. Bern smiled. It is okay. We have only known each other for 2 months. There is still a lot that I do not know, and many things to learn. Lucia felt that she was always being protected. Yes, Bern. Arista and Herwin looked at the 2 people happy in front of them. She secretly looked at the young man next to her. But in the end, the meal still went smoothly. During the meal, Bern softly asked, Lucia, besides mushrooms, is there anything else you can't eat? She stopped and looked at him. No, just that. Actually, I did not mention mushrooms because I was afraid that it would make me seem really picky, but I should have said something earlier. I am gradually growing up, so I need to change that. Bern put his fork down on the plate. I understand that feeling. I am also quite picky. Lucia felt a little interested, really. He slowly brought up a piece of carrot. I really hate carrots. She was startled when she saw him eat it. You hate carrots? Bern softly swallowed and nodded. He said with difficulty, this thing is really hard to swallow. I am not allergic like Lucia, but no matter how old I get, I still can't eat carrots. I tried to eat it to see if I could, but maybe I still can't eat them. So we both have something we can't eat. We are not too different. Right? Lucia smiled because she was always understood. Bern. She secretly thought in her heart, I was worried for nothing. He ate the carrot, just to prove. Arista comfortably reminded. But next time, do not force yourself to eat it. Your face looked pale when you finished eating it. Bern laughed out loud. Is that so? Herwin alone was always absent-minded, not paying attention. He just kept stirring the plate of food, and then stopped. While in the meal, a young man suddenly came over. Please excuse me, sir, for interrupting your meal. Bern immediately turned to look. What is wrong? He hesitated. The thing is, then said softly in his ear, causing Bern to be surprised. His face darkened. What? I am sorry, but there are some urgent matters, so I have to leave early. Lucia tilted her head and looked at him. It is okay, you can go. Bern politely bowed. Then please excuse me. Watching his leaving back, she thought, Bern really looked very shocked. It is probably nothing serious, right? Arista happily patted her stomach. That was a delicious meal. Lucia stood up to offer, let me pay. But she paid attention to Herwin's plate of food. Huh. Arista directly asked him, why did not you eat anything? It is very delicious. Herwin conveniently replied, I did not feel like eating much. Lucia worriedly asked him, "You are not sick, are you?" Herwin stood up. His face did not change color. "It is not like that. Do not worry." Seeing that everything was still okay, she suggested, "Then, let us go." The door of the restaurant was opened. Lucia went first, then turned back. "You two will go home now, right?" Herwin avoided eye contact. "We do not have any specific plans." Arista, out of habit, also said, "Me neither." "Wait, no, I was repeatedly reminded to go home early today." Lucia hurriedly ran over to reassure her. "Okay, it is still early now, so it is not too late yet." Her face contorted. "Really?" "I am going first." Lucia laughed, looking at her leave. Arista, "Really?" Saying that, she turned to look at Herwin. "Herwin, you are also going home right away, right?" Arista has already left. He did not know what to say other than a light, I should go home." Seconds later, he turned to leave. However, he was pulled back by Lucia's voice. "Wait, Herwin. You are really not sick, are you?" Herwin then turned back very quickly. "I said I am not." Lucia's eyes did not hide her worry. "But you did not eat anything at the restaurant, and you looked very moody the whole time." He started to ask strange questions. "So you are worried about me?" "I thought you did not care about me at all." Lucia looked a little surprised. "What are you saying?" "Of course I care. We are friends." "Anyway, if you are not sick, then is there something that is bothering you?" Herwin did not understand her meaning. "Bothering me?" Lucia nodded slowly. You even shook hands with Byrne. It is not like you at all." Herwin clicked his tongue and replied, "Right, I did that." Lucia teased, "You say that, as if that was not you." Suddenly, Herwin's voice became silent. "What I mean is Marquise Casper." "I do not know. Something feels wrong." Lucia froze. "Byrne." "About Byrne? I think he is a good person. You saw it too. He even ate the carrots that he hates just for me. Byrne is really good to me. He accepted a flawed person like me." Herwin's eyebrows furrowed slightly. "Flawed?" He grasped her hand fiercely. "Why are you belittling yourself like that?" Lucia was slightly startled, making it hard to look at him. She wondered, why should not I? What made her feel inferior, Herwin? Like you, I have confessed to you many times. And Herwin's answer, "I refuse, because you rejected me every time." "But I do not blame you, Herwin. Because now I have Byrne." Without lingering for long, Lucia hurriedly stepped. "Go home safe." Herwin watched her. "You too." Then Lucia stepped into the carriage. Herwin felt very wanting to tell her the truth. He lowered his head, thinking. Right when the driver announced, "I am about to leave," Herwin went to stop him. "Wait." He tapped lightly on the carriage door. "Lucia, I need to talk to you a bit." She opened the door right after Herwin. "What is wrong?" Herwin lowered his head and softly said, "It is just... I will be honest, the truth is, I did not feel good today." Lucia looked at him worriedly. "I understand. Is it because of me?" He shook his head to deny. "It is not like that. It is just that hearing that a childhood friend is about to get engaged made my emotions mixed up. And it is... even through a matchmaking meeting. I thought you would never do something like that." Even though Lucia smiled, in her heart she felt pain. "I thought doing that could help me forget you. But of course, you would never know how I feel." She made up a reason. "I am older now. Naturally, things are not the same as at the academy anymore." Hearing that, Herwin nodded. "I guess so." She also chuckled. "So now I want you to support me." Herwin confusedly asked back. "Support?" Lucia looked at him gently. "Support me to get along with Byrne. We are friends, right?" Because of these words, Herwin paused. Then Lucia closed the carriage door and said, "I have to go now. You should also go home before it gets too late." He only nodded. Then also silently watched her leave. The carriage gradually went far. Herwin wondered, "Support?" He turned to go in the opposite direction. With a gloomy mood, Herwin mumbled to himself, "Lucia did not say anything wrong. Why is accepting so difficult?" At the same time, at the Casper Marquis mansion, Byrne urgently asked the maid, "Where is my mother?" She bowed and announced, "She is in the room." The Marquis's room door burst open. He worriedly looked at the person in front of him, Mother. The Duchess reassured, "You do not need to come here for such a small thing." Byrne hurriedly reminded, "It is not a small thing. I heard you suddenly fainted. Do you feel better now?" Mother should stop working from now on, you fainted, because you overworked? Her eyes slightly fluttered. Your father has left. At least I have to contribute to the family. Byrne still would not listen. But Mother, before he could finish his words, the Duchess interrupted. You came from outside, right? You did not force yourself for me, did you? Mentioning this, Byrne lowered his head. I went out not to work. She heard that and asked curiously. Really? So who did you go meet? He honestly replied, I went to meet Miss Agnes. The Duchess chuckled. Oh my, so it was a date. My friend saw her last time and also said she has a surprisingly strong will contrary to her fragile appearance. The rumors made me a little worried, but you also have your shortcomings. So I feel okay about it. Byrne coldly interjected, Mother, you said we would not talk about that anymore. Because you seem healthier now, I will excuse myself now. Watching him leave, she called out, Byrne, do not tell me that... Byrne did not turn his head, only leaving a sentence. Don't worry, Mother. I won't go against your or Father's wishes. The Duchess looked at her son with regret. A few days later, at a small party, the short-haired girl chatted lively. Oh my, I have never seen that necklace before. The purple-haired one next to her continued, that is a gift. From the young Marquis we met last time, he has a very good aesthetic, so I plan to meet him a few more times. Lucia silently raised the cup of tea in her hand. No matter how many gatherings I participate in, I can never get used to them. And above all, I did not expect to meet her again. Her name is Seline Lamarian, right? Hopefully she won't cry. Like last time, suddenly someone called her. Miss Agnes. Lucia was startled and turned around. Yes. The short-haired one put forward a question full of confusion. Do you think so, Miss Agnes? Lucia froze for a few seconds. What are we talking about? Then chose a safe way to answer. Yes, I think so too. She was satisfied after hearing that. I knew it. Suddenly, the purple-haired one spoke provocatively. Thinking of this, Miss Agnes, I heard that you are dating someone lately. The short-haired one clapped excitedly and chimed in. That is right. You are dating Marquise Casper, right? Can you tell us how you two met? Lucia again fell into thought. They want to know how I met Byrne. Well, there is nothing that can't be said. The short-haired one spoke to urge her. Tell us. Lucia smiled and replied socially. There is nothing special. I met the Marquis through a matchmaking. When we continued to meet, we found that we communicated well with each other, and we seemed to be compatible in many ways. The short-haired one paid attention to Lucia's necklace. Is that necklace that you are wearing from Marquis Casper? She nodded, putting her hand on the pendant. Yes, it is a gift. The purple-haired one felt that the drama was not wow enough. She continued to strike straight at Lucia's sore spot. So that means you no longer have feelings for Prince Peneus. She initially was very warm. I am not sure what you mean, the short-haired one interjected. What do you mean? The purple-haired one did not shy away from exposing. Everyone knows that Miss Agnes has harbored feelings for Prince Peneus for a long time. The short-haired one was startled and ate melons. Saying it like that, she took advantage and continued to question. Am I wrong? Lucia did not rush to explain, just took a deep breath and adjusted her breathing. She put her hand on her chest and affirmed herself. It is true that I once had feelings for Herwin, but that is all in the past. It has been 3 years since we graduated from the academy. I do not understand why we are still talking about that. The purple-haired one still did not let go. So you completely gave up those feelings after graduating. Lucia's heart again skipped a beat. Then, I could not completely give up Herwin until recently. She did not avoid it all. Yes, that is right. The short-haired one saw the tense atmosphere and suggested, let us change the topic. The purple-haired one uncomfortably stood up. I will go outside for a bit. She huffily swung her skirt and left. Lucia was relieved. She sighed in relief. Then she left the party to take a walk in the garden. I really do not feel comfortable next to people who I am not close with. From somewhere a woman's voice came. There is something very different about her, the other person wondered. Her. The short-haired voice hissed. I mean, Miss Agnes. She looks like she is about to cry if you make her sad. But then she answers you with a frank and serious answer. The blonde thought for a moment. Really, I am not impressed at all. Hearing that conversation, Lucia softly sighed. She was very rude from before, and now she is distorting the story like this. The blonde heard the story and wondered, so she is dating Marquis Casper. The short-haired one affirmed right away. It seems so. I am more worried about Viscountess Lamarian. Lucia hid behind a nearby tree and thought, Viscountess Lemarian? The blonde hurriedly asked clearly, the Viscountess. Why? She was a little ambiguous, don't you know, Viscountess Lemarian. She used to date Marquis Casper, and they were dating until recently, I heard. Hearing that, the blonde covered her mouth full of curiosity. So why did she marry the Viscount? The next words made Lucia jump. I do not know the details, but I heard it was like she was forced to do it. She wondered in her heart, why am I still listening to these things? If I keep listening, I will become rude to the Viscountess. But they used to be lovers. Don't tell me that. Lucia remembered the night of the ball. Why did you choose me? At that time Bern had said that. Because you remind me of someone. That is why I chose Lucia. When hearing this story, Lucia understood, so that was Bern's implication at that time. The full moon night at the Agnes mansion. Lucia dejectedly hugged her head and returned home. Lucas appeared from somewhere. Lucia, I need to talk to you. In her heart arose suspicion, suddenly, but still smiled and agreed. Yes. Come in. Do you want something to drink? Lucas refused and went straight to the point. No, it won't take long. Lucia sat down on the chair. Her voice asked, What do you want to say? He was tired, but quite serious. This might sound a bit sudden, but listen to me and do not misunderstand. I object to your engagement with Marquis Casper. Lucia widened her eyes in surprise. Huh? Why suddenly? You have never said anything before, Lucas emphasized, with a stern voice. Now and before are different. Actually, I have heard a few things about Marquis Casper. Lucia's curiosity flared up. Heard a few things. What is it? She wondered in her heart. Is there something bad about Bern that I do not know? Lucas awkwardly crossed his arms, hesitating. That guy. He had a long-time lover, but they broke up when she suddenly married someone else. It is said that after the breakup, he did not leave the house for a whole year. What if he still can't forget her? I object to this engagement. I object. Lucia smiled and fondled the pendant. Just that? I already knew that. Lucas paused for a few seconds. You knew already, yet you still agreed to get engaged. She gently nodded. Yes. My circumstances are the same, even though we never dated. I have loved Herwin for a long time. He looked worriedly at his treasure. Lucia smiled to reassure him. If there is anything, because he has experienced that, would not he understand me better? Seeing that she had accepted, Lucas did not say anything more. All right, if that is what you think, I can't stop you. But he still held back a sentence. If that jerk causes trouble, then call me. I will teach him a lesson. Lucia smiled, being pampered. Yes. Thank you for worrying about me. Lucas scratched his head awkwardly. It is nothing. Good night, Lucia. When the room door closed, she still sat silently. On the next day, Lucas's voice echoed, Becky, Lucia said she won't cancel the engagement with that Marquis Casper. What if Lucia gets hurt later? Becky stroked his hair and said, Oh my, is that so? Lucia is an adult. She will be able to take care of herself. Lucas was still a little uneasy, but... He suddenly paused. You are right. Thinking too much is useless, she nodded. That is right. Shouldn't you be worrying about me instead? Lucas blushed. All right. Because Prince Aris is not here either. Let us... Outside the door came a call. Brother, are you there? Lucas recognized that voice. Arista? She opened the door and was also surprised. Ah, Brother Lucas. And next to him, Lucas hurriedly introduced. Ah, this is my girlfriend, Becky. This is my brother's friend, Arista. Arista smoothed her hair and nodded. Hello. Becky was also very polite and greeted back. It is nice to meet you. At this time, Lucas went closer to Arista. Arista, what do you have to come here? She replied. I have something I want to ask Prince Aris, but he is not here today. Lucas heard that and laughed. He just went out. If it is urgent, then you can ask me. Arista widened her eyes happily. Really? Seeing the two of them happy, Becky felt a little jealous. I still have work to do, so I should go now. Lucas did not seem to notice at all, and waved goodbye. Take care. Arista turned her head and watched her leaving back. Lucas saw the paper in Arista's hand. Is that what you wanted to ask? She then turned back to focus. That is right. Here you go. He suddenly realized something. You seem different today. You usually exude an aura like Herwin. But today you remind me of Lucia. Maybe it is because of the dress, high heels, and loose hair. Arista burst out laughing, teasing. You really do not know anything about women's changes. Your girlfriend must be annoyed. Lucas seemed quite surprised. Is that so? But why are you wearing fancy clothes today? Arista happily revealed. Later I will be going to a dress shop with my mother. So I have to finish this pile of papers quickly. He held the pile of papers and replied, I understand. This won't take more than 5 minutes. Arista looked at him and smiled faintly. At a luxurious and magnificent room, Arista tried on a dress and felt uncomfortable. How many more dresses do I have to try on? Lisa smiled and announced, The Duchess has requested a few more dresses for you. She turned to force a reply. There is still more. Then she led the way. Can you go this way? Arista helplessly followed. Lisa opened the room door and pointed inside. The dresses are ready inside. What about this? Arista looked at the dress on her body and commented, This one is too uncomfortable. I like something easier to wear. When she intended to suggest, then another one. Then someone came looking for her outside. Lisa. Come here for a bit. She looked at Arista shyly. Please wait a bit. I will be right back. She watched her servant leave. Then she sat sprawled on the sofa and sighed. Finally, a break. Suddenly she caught sight of something. Inside the dressing room, there was the sound of an argument. This is really troublesome, so why do not you leave him and come to me? Arista paused for a few seconds. I have heard that voice somewhere before. Because of curiosity, she then got closer. A man's voice came from inside. A childish guy like Lucas Agnes does not suit you. Arista stopped in her tracks and thought, why was his name mentioned? I am probably mistaken, but that voice is definitely his girlfriend's. Arista raised her hand to lift the curtain and peek. What caught her eyes was the image of Becky sitting on another man. I like someone more masculine. Like you. Arista covered her mouth in astonishment. Arista was so shocked that she trembled. What the hell did I just see? Behind the curtain, the flirtatious words kept sounding softly. So what about tonight? You are really cunning. Let us go out and end the conversation. Becky and a strange man came out. She froze for a moment. Arista's figure flashed past, making her surprised. Huh? The man hugged Becky's waist. What is wrong? Do you know her? She hesitated to reply. Number. Lisa saw Arista standing there and smiled respectfully. Arista's expression looked extremely serious, only gloomily saying, Right. At the magnificent mansion of Christine's family at this time, Brian and Lucia brightly opened the door. We have arrived. Christine immediately went out to greet them. Thank you both for coming. Brian curiously asked, What is going on? Did you only call me and Lucia? Christine said slowly. It seems that the others already had a schedule, so I thought I would meet them slowly. She seemed very excited. I am planning to hold a party soon, and I want to invite all of you. Brian and Lucia were confused. A party. Christine's servant gave the two of them 2 invitation cards. This will be an opportunity to formally announce my business, Lucia nodded. Christine excitedly invited her friends. This time it will be a fairly large scale. All of you will come, right? Lucia happily accepted. Of course, I will come with Bern. Brian on one side whispered happily, Oh ho, so I will get to meet many beautiful girls there. Christine annoyed and scolded him again. You are still only thinking about women. When will you grow up? Brian only shrugged. What can I do when the girls won't leave me alone? Then he put on a romantic look. Ah, so being handsome is also a crime. Seeing that, Lucia was curious. Brian, have you never heard of arranged marriages at home? Brian wearily spoke to complain. That is annoying, Lucia. You too. Anyway, I will have to live with the woman that my father has chosen. It is okay to be a little rebellious like this, right? Christine, who was scolding just now, softly asked, Is your father still imposing like that? While Brian was too used to these things, he is always like that. At least I am the second son, so I am more free compared to my older brother. Lucia looked at him with pity. Now that you mention it, Brian's father is very strict. Could it be that Brian is dating randomly, all because he resents his father? Brian also contemplated, but should I end that free lifestyle that you are talking about? Christine stood next to him to encourage, Yes, because your future fiancé might misunderstand. He sighed. Now that you mention it, Christine, your future fiancé won't have anything to worry about. You have focused on the business, not caring about love. So there won't be any scandals, but Christine only sadly said, What is the point when I do not even have anyone to get engaged to? Brian smiled and teased. Then why do not we get engaged to each other? After all, our parents know each other. This made her instantly speechless. Just thinking about it is terrible, so please do not joke like that, unexpectedly. Brian coughed softly. I am serious. It is sad that you do not understand my feelings. Christine, at this moment, suddenly remembered something, turning to Lucia. Ah, right, Lucia. Have you contacted Herwin lately? Lucia was startled. Huh. Nothing special. Christine was full of worry. I intended to give him the invitation card, but he has not replied to any of my messages. He must be very busy. Lucia was curious. Is that so? What is he doing that he is so busy at this time? Brian suddenly spoke. Then I will give it to him myself. Tomorrow, I have work near Duke Peneus's mansion, making Christine more excited. Really. Seeing that, he then spoke in a spoiled manner. Your expression is completely different from before. Christine smiled brightly and gave the invitation to Brian. Ah, so you are not going to help me? Brian unconsciously blushed and turned away. It is not like that. Christine was still with an innocent look. Then I will be counting on you. Lucia only silently stood on one side and looked at them. Even though they argue all the time, they are actually very compatible, right? But then she suddenly remembered the dress she was wearing. Anyway, if it is a business announcement, then it will definitely be a fairly formal event, right? I will have to sew a new dress. A few days later, on the bustling street of the city, Seline was carrying things for Lucia. Today, after finishing the dress fitting, are you planning to go straight home? Lucia smoothed her slightly messy hair. I am not sure. Then she turned to look at Seline with a radiant look. It would probably be great if we looked around a bit because it has been a long time. I used to come here often when I was at the academy. Speaking to this point, Seline looked around, now that you mention it. It seems that there are quite a few students from the academy here. A female student suddenly paid attention to someone. Oh, over there. Then the female students continuously praised, their eyes full of love. Heh. Is not that Senior Henry? That is right. I did not think we would meet him here, Senior. Hearing the name Henry, Lucia felt very familiar. If it is Henry, then it is probably. In front of her, a tall and handsome male student with a sunny smile appeared. His eyes were as mesmerizing as when he was little. Just as Lucia guessed, she happily said, Oh my, it is really Henry. She hurriedly called out, Henry? This made Henry surprised. Sister Lucia. Then he turned to say to his friend, Wait a bit, I will just go say hi quickly. He quickly ran to her. Sister, long time no see, Lucia quickly replied. It has been a long time. How have you been lately? You look taller than the last time I saw you, Henry, without any distance, smiled and narrowed his eyes. Really, I think it is still the same as before. The group of female students from just now were buzzing. Senior Henry is smiling. I have never seen him smile before. Who is she that makes him so happy? Henry and Lucia did not care about those words, just chatting intimately with each other. I can't believe the kid who said he would marry me when he was little has grown up so much. That was a long time ago. She looked at Henry from head to toe and widened her eyes, I understand. Henry showed the look of a child who is sulking. Sister, you are still only caring about my brother. Lucia startled and waved her hands. What? It is not like that. She was surprised. So you really have not contacted Herwin? Henry did not understand what she was trying to say. Huh? Without saying that, Lucia's face was full of happiness. I am getting engaged? This news for Henry was like a bolt from the blue. Engaged. He was stunned and shouted, Don't tell me it is. With my brother, Lucia hurriedly denied. Number. I am getting engaged to Marquise Casper, of course Herwin already knows. At this time, Seline suddenly reminded Lucia, Miss, it is almost time for your dress-fitting appointment. She nodded. Okay. Lucia said goodbye to Henry. Sorry, I will go first. See you later. Henry was still standing rooted in that spot, unable to speak. So, moments later, his face became refreshed. You are saying that you are getting engaged to someone who is not my brother. Henry's friend saw the two of them chatting and asked curiously, Who was that? Henry only replied indifferently, My brother's friend. He heard that and joked, I thought you liked her. This is the first time I have seen you smile like that. Henry looked in the direction of Lucia, not denying those words. Is that so? These words made his friend freeze. Huh, Henry only softly replied, I like her. Only to see his face darken, I will take advantage of this opportunity. This appearance really made his two friends shiver. Hey, I do not know what you are planning, but do not smile so wickedly anymore. The male student from just now was curious. Ah, that girl. Is she the youngest daughter of the Agnes family? Henry wondered. Right? Why? That friend blankly followed. You are asking, because you really do not know. She is about to get engaged. Henry scratched his head. It seemed that he did not care about this news much. I know that too, she just told me. Then smiled excitedly again. Ah, they are not officially engaged yet, making the two of them really scared. You are really. Let us go have lunch. Henry secretly thought, I never imagined that Sister Lucia would get engaged to someone other than my brother. She smiled when talking about the engagement. Maybe she is really okay now. She must have been in a lot of pain because of my brother. Because he was always lost in thought. By the time he realized, his friends had gone quite far. Henry hurriedly ran to Chase. Wait for me, the thoughts in his heart still had not ended. But it seems that she has finally forgotten my brother. Hopefully later, he won't regret it. A few days later, on the day of Christine's party, Arista looked at the magnificent space and sighed. It seems that Christine has done everything. Ethan, standing beside, agreed. That is right. It is quite grand. Brian, while raising his glass, complained, That Herwin guy, I guess he is not showing up. Unexpectedly, in a flash, Herwin's voice immediately rang out. No, Arista was surprised. Oh my, when did you get here? He seemed to have been in a hurry, Herwin said breathlessly. Just arrived. Brian coldly looked at him from head to toe. It seems that he is much better now. The last time I visited, he looked like he was about to die. Brian remembered that time. He knocked on Herwin's room door. Herwin? Not seeing a reply, Brian pushed the door and went in. Herwin. Herwin at that time was still resting, lying on the bed. His eyes half closed, tried to turn around. You came. Then he weakly sat up, rubbing his forehead. What is wrong? Brian looked at Herwin's appearance and was shocked. What happened? He worriedly asked. Are you sick or what? Herwin only slowly said. It is not like that. I just have some things to think about. Brian was restless. Just thinking has made you like this. Don't tell me you got dumped by someone. But Herwin only fell into contemplation. Brian awkwardly changed to another subject. Anyway, I have this thing to give you. He held out a fairly formal invitation card. Here, take it. Herwin was curious. What is this? Brian relayed Christine's words. Christine will hold a party to talk about her new business project, and she really hopes you will come. Herwin held the letter and asked, Will the others also be there? Brian casually replied, Of course, Lucia will also bring her fiancé. Herwin's face had some movement, Marquise Casper, Brian bluntly said. That is right. Suddenly, the space around him became gloomy and scary, Herwin said with a grating voice. If everyone is going, I have to go too then. Brian thought back to that day and found it strange. It is impossible that he was really dumped. He must have really been sick. Thinking that he turned back to the lively atmosphere of the party. She said, There is still a while before everything officially starts, right? I will go greet a few other people. Arista and Ethan looked at each other and whispered, That guy is definitely just planning to socialize with girls, no doubt. Meanwhile, Herwin was restlessly looking around. Where is Lucia? Arista was curious. Lucia. She thought for a moment and replied, I saw her earlier, but I do not know where she disappeared to. Hearing that, Ethan looked out the door. Isn't she outside taking a walk? Arista then remembered and happily beamed. Oh, I guess she went out to take a walk with her fiancé. Having heard, Herwin's face was icy cold, his expression extremely bad. He seemed uncomfortable. I will go out and find her. Arista was surprised. Why? If you wait, then she will be back soon. Even Ethan did not understand. That is right. You do not need to go and bother them. But Herwin still resolutely left. I want to greet Lucia separately. I also want to apologize to her. Saying that, he resolutely went to find Lucia, no matter how the two of them tried to stop him. Arista and Ethan were a little worried. What is wrong with him? Did he and Lucia argue again? Outside the mansion, in the garden, there was a large water tower that was flowing heavily. Herwin was walking and pondering. Why could not I reply that time? He clenched his fist tightly. I said something meaningless. I should apologize to her for making her annoyed. Herwin's mind was messy. But is it really just because I want to apologize? Since that day, what has made me always concerned is simply the thought of wanting to meet Lucia again. Suddenly, Herwin stopped. He felt his heart was beating rapidly. Is it really just because I want to apologize that I want to meet her? Then he paid attention to something in the distance. Herwin's face momentarily froze. Lucia? He quickly stepped closer to her. The figure of Lucia sitting by the water tower flooded into Herwin's eyes. But when he was running over, about to call her, Luke, then he suddenly saw Lucia sitting next to Byrne, looking very affectionate. Herwin's whole body suddenly stood stiffly. The image of Lucia with Byrne, the faces of the two of them were touching very closely. Looking from his side, it seemed that the two of them were gradually giving each other a kiss. Herwin witnessed that scene and stood motionless, as if unable to believe his eyes. The feeling of suffocation made him unconsciously hug his face. In his head at the moment were only mixed thoughts, torturing himself. Why? Why am I like this? I know the two of them are about to get engaged. His heart felt too strange. Saying that, he pursed his lips tightly to stop the train of thought. Herwin immediately turned around and left. Next to the water tower, Lucia and Byrne, they silently looked at each other, only to see him tightly holding her hand, with a loving gaze. Byrne worriedly looked at her, Lucia. Then he put his hand on Lucia's back, who was hugging her face and crying, comforting her. It is okay, Lucia, it is all right. Lucia sobbed. I am sorry, Byrne sadly could only look at her. Time turned back to 1 hour before. Byrne walked side by side with Lucia in the party. Lucia happily gave Christine the flowers. Christine, this is a small gift. I hope your business will flourish. Christine happily replied, Thank you so much, Lucia. Byrne also greeted politely, congratulating her on her new business venture. Ms. Doris, let us talk next time. Christine also responded politely, If it is a Marquis, then any time is fine. You can send a letter any time. As the three were talking, a voice rang out, Miss Doris. Christine hurriedly greeted Byrne and Lucia, apologizing. Lucia, I think I have to go now. Byrne looked at Lucia with admiration. You have a great friend. It is impressive to have such a big business at this age. Lucia agreed with him. Christine is really amazing. Running her own business has always been her dream. Byrne took the opportunity to curry favor with her. Then I need to treat Lucia even better, so your friend will think well of me. Lucia smiled and replied, That is right. Byrne, you have to treat me well. Lucia happily suggested, Then should we go somewhere else? Byrne agreed. Yes, that sounds good. Lucia looked excitedly into the distance. Over there, I think my friend is. Before she could finish, she noticed something strange about Byrne. Byrne, what are you staring at? She looked up and saw a beautiful woman, Lucia wondered, the Viscountess Lamario. I did not even think she would be invited to this party. It would be awkward if they ran into each other. Seline bowed to Lucia. Hello, Miss Agnes. Lucia quickly replied. Oh, hello. Did you come to the party alone today? Seline answered gently. Yes, I did. My husband is busy, so I came in his place. And you, miss, seem to be with your companion. Lucia looked uneasily at Byrne, who was looking down. Oh, yes. Seline continued to chat innocently. I heard you two will be engaged soon. Lucia could only answer reluctantly. Yes, it seems the engagement will be held soon. Isn't that right, Byrne? Byrne looked very sad and replied to her, Yes, that is right. It seemed that Lucia understood what he was thinking at this moment. She could only whisper in his ear, Are you feeling unwell, Byrne? Your expression does not look too good. After speaking, Lucia stepped forward and greeted Seline. Then, we will take our leave now. Seline hesitated slightly. Yes. Then she gazed in the direction the two of them left. Byrne seemed a little surprised. Lucia. But Lucia only responded with a radiant smile. It is okay. You do not have to say anything. Once they reached the water tower, Byrne could finally calm down. I think I can tell you now. Lucia? Lucia looked at him blankly. Yes. Byrne asked her awkwardly. You already know. Lucia shyly smoothed her hair. I do not know what you mean. It is just that. I know something, but I do not know if what I know is true. I happened to meet the Viscountess a few times at tea parties, and I heard some rumors. Byrne's eyes widened in surprise. You met her at tea parties? Lucia recounted slowly. Yes, the first time we met, she directly asked me if I was your fiancé. Byrne said nothing. The atmosphere suddenly became silent. Lucia unconsciously asked him, The Viscountess Lamario is the person you were going to marry, right? Byrne looked a little sad. Yes, that is right. Seeing this, Lucia said gently, Then, can you tell me about the two of you if you are ready, Byrne? Byrne's face darkened, but he still agreed with her. Okay. Seline and I both like books, so we often met at the library. At first, I thought she was just a friend to share with. He vaguely recalled Seline calling his name Byrne. He also responded to that sincere call, Seline. Then Byrne continued, but before I knew it, I found myself smiling every time I looked at her. The memory returned to when the two were still at the academy. Seline took his hand. Today, while helping the professor, I discovered a great place. Do you know where? Byrne was also curious. Where? Seline looked very secretive. Hurry, follow me. Byrne was grabbed by the hand and pulled away, hurriedly responding, okay. The two arrived in front of a large room. Byrne was doubtful. Is not this the entrance to the storage room? Seline grabbed the doorknob and smiled. Hee, do not be shocked. Byrne was stunned by the scene before him. What are all these things? Seline smiled and explained to him. This is the secret room inside the library. I even saw the first edition of one of your favorite Swan novels earlier. He still felt a little unbelievable. Are we really allowed to be in here? But Seline did not care. Oh, come on, it is okay. We are just here to read books. What could happen? Byrne recalled those days. The secret room we found became our little haven. Seline and I spent countless hours there. The memory flashed back to when he and Seline were leaning against each other. Byrne unconsciously called out, Seline? She also responded excitedly, what is it? He did not mind telling Lucia. Soon after, we officially started dating. She and I were so deeply in love, the whispers around us did not matter at all. But finally, that day came. Byrne was slapped hard across the face by his father. As his father loudly scolded, marrying someone who is not worthy of nobility, I will never accept her. He argued back to his father, even if you object, I will never abandon her. Of course, Seline might come from a lower noble family. His father looked worried. You think I am objecting to her just because she is the daughter of a baron? His expression looked very distressed. That girl's father, Baron Jensen, he has been borrowing money everywhere in our family's name. Byrne exclaimed in horror. What? But his father shouted, your little love affair is dragging our whole house into ruin. This news was like a blow straight to Byrne, leaving him stunned. His father looked at him helplessly. Even so, Byrne was already deeply in love with Seline. I am sorry, father, but I can't break up with Seline. His father could not believe his ears. What did you say? Just because of a girl you have become this crazy? For Seline, Byrne could disregard everything. If you are not satisfied with Seline, please remove me from the family. Byrne said to Lucia painfully, even if the whole family objects, I am determined to protect her. But reality does not flow like the wind. Byrne persuaded, Seline, please, Seline, let us just run away like this, unexpectedly. Seline crossed her arms coldly. Run away. While Byrne said very sincerely, yes, let us go to a place where no one can stop us and start a new life. Seline looked disdainful. Tell me to give up everything and follow you. Say something reasonable. Byrne froze. Seline. She turned her back on him at this moment. I will marry Viscount Lemario. This shocked Byrne into silence. What? But she did not care, and said bluntly, the Viscount has a lot of money. I can live without any shortage. I will also escape from my father's endless money troubles. But what will I have left if I follow you now? Byrne could not believe it. Seline. Seline looked at him with indifferent eyes. To me, you have no value now. Find someone better and forget about me. Byrne questioned her. Could it be that you have been dating me all along for my wealth and family background, unexpectedly? Seline did not deny it. That is right. You are too naive to only find that out now. After speaking, she got off the carriage without looking back. I am leaving. Seline left step by step in a hurry, as if there had never been a meeting. Byrne was extremely disappointed and in pain at this moment. Because of someone I loved so much that I could give up everything, I could not come to my senses at all. I locked myself in the room for a year, living like a waste, but soon after, suddenly, my father also passed away. Then I quickly inherited the title. I worked busily like that. Hearing this, Lucia was suddenly silent. Oh, Byrne continued to confide in her. When the pain subsided, I did not know if I could meet Seline again, but it turned out she was still living well with Viscount Lemario. Lucia asked, with pity, but you still love her, right? Byrne looked at her in surprise. Yes. No, then that won't do, even if Byrne denied it. His eyes could not lie, Lucia thought and said, Now I understand what Byrne meant by saying you and I are similar. Both you and I have someone we love, but we can't continue together. But Byrne turned his face away. But I did not choose Lucia just for that reason. Lucia is so kind that she is too good to me, and is a good person too. Lucia understood what he meant. You do not need to apologize to me, our circumstances are the same. It seemed Byrne wanted to say something more, but Lucia placed her hand on her heart and confided, because you, Byrne, bravely said everything, I also have to share my story. She looked down. I also had a crush on Herwin for a long time. I thought that one day he would accept my feelings, but that day did not come. The reason I agreed to the matchmaking with Byrne was because I was rejected the last time I confessed to Herwin. I tried to sort out my feelings. Byrne looked at her with pity. It seems you have a lot of pain, Lucia. She only smiled bitterly. I do not know if I can love anyone so passionately again. But Byrne, even if it is not love, is a good person, so I like him very much. He called out, choked up, Lucia. She reached out her hand and gently touched his. We are no different, so do not think about it too much. Byrne looked at her affectionately. Thank you for saying that to me. Lucia was also a little embarrassed. If Byrne ever demanded love from me, I would probably feel very burdened. She asked innocently, Byrne too, right? He smiled and agreed, maybe. But anyway, it is better to confirm it. Lucia looked blank, as if she did not understand. Confirm. Byrne's eyes were extremely sincere. Yes. That we really do not have feelings for each other. Who knows? Maybe someday we will really fall in love. Lucia thought for a while and decided, then, try kissing me. This surprised Byrne. Kiss, she explained. Anyway, if we become husband and wife, we have to build a deeper relationship. He was a little embarrassed, that is true, but... Is this your first kiss? Lucia smiled to reassure him. I would be very grateful if Byrne became my first. He did not worry anymore, and approached her. Then, if that is the case... The faces of the two were about to touch, in an atmosphere full of ambiguity. This scene was seen by Herwin, who was looking for Lucia. It really was not just imagination anymore. Lucia and Byrne were kissing. While kissing Byrne, Lucia heard someone call her name. Lucia. It was Herwin. He called her name. She looked at him in surprise. Standing in front of her, Herwin. Suddenly he came closer and hugged Lucia's waist. The two exchanged a passionate kiss. Lucia thought to herself, if my first kiss was with Herwin then... She closed her eyes and slowly savored the sweetness in her kiss with him. Lucia returned to reality, quickly pushed Byrne away. Then, maybe it would be better. Then she burst into tears. Byrne's hand reached out. He embraced her and comforted her. It is okay, Lucia, it is okay. Byrne was very gentle. You do not need to say anything. Only Lucia sobbed in pain. I am sorry, Byrne. Her heart ached. Maybe I will never forget Herwin in this lifetime. Byrne took her shoulders. Lucia. Lucia startled and looked up at him. Byrne slowly said to her, I promise, I will never let you cry in the future, Lucia. Lucia seemed a little hesitant after hearing that, but Byrne smiled at her. I am not sure how Lucia feels, but maybe you have the same thoughts as me. Then he reached out and wiped her tears, so I am even more confident. If we become husband and wife in the future, we will become a couple who can understand and comfort each other. I will definitely work hard so that you can become happier. Lucia looked at him, moved. Byrne. Then the two hugged each other happily. Herwin witnessed everything and left heartbroken. On the other side, at Christine's mansion, Arista walked around anxiously looking for the two. I can't see either Herwin or Lucia. She looked suspiciously at the dark corner. Should I check that last place? Suddenly, Arista stopped quickly. Over there. She frowned in surprise. Her face flushed red. Before her eyes was a scene of Becky and another man passionately embracing each other. The man noticed Arista, making Becky also curiously look. What is it? Is someone there? She turned around and saw Arista standing there. The man greeted enthusiastically. Is not this Miss Lydia? Arista was surprised. You know me. He politely stepped forward. I went to the Lydia residence once, not long ago. The Duke heard that he would support business investment. Arista did not care, and just asked, is this girl your lover? The man hesitated to answer. Yes. Well, almost. After hearing that, she said to him, I want to talk to her. Please step aside for a moment. He scratched his head and agreed, of course. After speaking, he left, leaving the two girls standing there silently. Becky crossed her arms and looked annoyed. Are you so close that you have to talk to me privately? Our relationship? But Arista coldly interrupted. The problem is not that. Who is that person? The man I saw last time was someone else. Becky glared as if she did not understand what she meant. The man you saw last time? Who are you talking about? Then she smiled mockingly as if she understood, so you were the one that day. Becky raised her face. So what? You saw it, so you plan to go to Lucas and tell him everything, Arista replied bluntly. Of course. She looked at Arista with contempt. Lucas, will he believe you? Making Arista angry. What did you say? Becky continued smugly. Even without evidence, how could Lucas believe you? That it was not just one person, but that I was seeing multiple people at the same time. Arista clenched her fist angrily. That is what you did yourself, so stop denying it. Becky shrugged annoyedly. Seriously, so frustrating. She came to Arista's side and put her hand on her shoulder. Until there is evidence, even if I did it, it is as if it never happened, miss. Don't be foolish and tell Lucas, lest it only confuse and hurt him. Just pretend you do not know. Then she seemed to realize something. Could it be? You like Lucas, so you want to steal Lucas from me. Arista did not deny it at all. Yes, shocking Becky. What? Arista's eyes were extremely determined. Yes, I like Lucas. Becky's eyes widened, and she could not speak. What? Arista shouted out all the feelings in her heart. So I feel sorry about the fact that you are always by his side. Becky was a little panicked at this moment. Then Lucas will think you did this because you could not control your jealousy, right? Who do you think Lucas will believe? Me or you? I am Lucas's girlfriend, and you are not. But Arista only looked at her with contempt from the bottom of her heart. That is Lucas's choice? After that, she turned and left, leaving Becky frozen in place. Wait. She now revealed a look of fear. The next day at the Agnes residence, Lucia had just woken up from a long sleep. The sunshine is so beautiful. Seline came in with a towel and looked worried. Oh my gosh, miss, your eyes are so swollen. Lucia got out of bed and asked Stein, is it very serious? She replied, yes, it is lucky that you went to bed early yesterday. What happened after all? Seline gently took a towel and wiped her face. Lucia was indifferent, nothing special. But Seline understood Lucia too. Well, really, you did not get dumped again, did you? Lucia could only smile wryly at this moment. It is just that yesterday I and Bern truly revealed our thoughts. On the contrary, I feel more comfortable, so do not worry. Hearing this, Seline breathed a sigh of relief. Then that is good. I was worried that something had happened to you again, Lucia pretended to say. What happened? She was respectful to Lucia. It seems quieter than before. If you need anything else, just tell me, Lucia said gently. No, I am fine. You can go out now. Seline bowed to her. Yes, miss. The door to the room was then closed. Lucia sat alone on the bed and thought, I did not lie to Seline, but in the end, crying is also so tragic. Even if I promise to give up every time, it will collapse immediately. If this continues, will Bern and I only hurt each other? Lucia looked at the distant sky through the window. The weather is really good today. Opening the window, she heard the polite voice of the servant. Yes, madam. She was a little surprised, Mom. Lucia looked down, thinking about it. Couldn't I seek advice from Mom? Thinking about it, Lucia immediately put on a dress and went downstairs calling, Mom. Her mother looked at her kindly. Lucia, what is it? Lucia said obediently. I have something I need to ask you, so I came down here. Her mother smiled. Sit down first. What do you want to ask me? Lucia confided the thoughts in her heart. The marriage between you and Dad was a political marriage, right? She replied. That is right. She hesitated and asked, Mom, when did you fall in love with Dad? She swirled the teacup on the table and thought, love? Thinking about it, I have never talked about the first meeting between Dad and Mom. He had someone he loved at that time. Lucia was stunned, yes. Unexpectedly, her mother only recounted slowly. To be exact, it was his unrequited love. I won't reveal who the person was. Then she imitated her father's appearance at that time. Sorry, but there is no way I will love you. The handsome but cold face of Lucia's father was described very realistically by her mother. She continued to tell, until I stepped onto the wedding aisle. He was still as cold as that. I was the same, not expecting love from him. But at the wedding, that girl did appear, right? Lucia could not believe it, and asked in a panic, then, how did it all go? Her mother only smiled and covered her face. I made a big scene. She could not stand me and left her seat immediately. I also saw the frightened appearance of your dad at that time. Could it be that he fell for me after that? Lucia looked blankly at her. How can you tell the story while smiling like that? Her mother said gently, well, half joking and half serious. But from then on, the way he treated me changed a little. In those days, marriages were decided by parents. Parents are also like other people, not perfect from the start. But then, parents still lived happily. Because he treated me well, I gradually fell in love. She shyly smoothed her hair, as you have seen. Now parents have reached the point where they can't live without each other. Lucia was a little envious, so there was such a story between Dad and Mom. She looked at her image reflected in the teacup. Even if we do not like each other at first sight, we can still be happy. Then me and Bern. Later, we will forget everything and be able to start a new beginning.